recording. We got it all going, and we're off to the races, everybody. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of Core in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, Pete, I'm working on a college application, and it says I gotta tell them about myself.
More like sell yourself. That's the worst.
Hello and welcome to Core. This is Core, video game talk for you and me and everyone under the tree. I don't know why I'm doing that. I don't know why I did that. It almost like I want to start over.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.
From Core.
Doing a little early. We're here. We're back. And boy, stupid news is stupid news. Last week we ended the show, and then like 4 hours later, Microsoft sealed their deal finally with a kiss with their ABK acquisition, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But I hate when we miss stuff like that. It's like one day.
It was so long ago that I almost said, boy, there was no news this week.
I know, right?
And then I went, oh, wait, no, there was a huge news story. We just didn't talk about it because it happened right after our show.
Yeah. We got a bunch of emails, too, going, oh, my gosh, you guys are so unlucky. It happened like tonight. I'm like, I know. Don't worry. We'll get to it next week. But we waited. We've been patient. We're here now.
It's been 2 years in the making. What's another week?
Yeah, honestly, truly. What is another week? Well, it's 7 days, if you're wondering. Here's the deal. Before we get to that topic, I want to talk real quick about I am in a decision loop right now, and I need to make the call. Maybe you guys can help me do it. This weekend or this week or this day is a momentous day for gamers in some ways. Sony has released Spider-Man 2, and Nintendo has released Super Mario Wonder. I need to make a decision on which one I'm going to get. Review-wise, as of today, Super Mario Wonder is now in the top 4 best reviewed games of 2023. And 3 of those games are Nintendo games, by the way. The Prime Remake, Tears of the Kingdom, and this are in the top 3. The only other game in the top 4 is Baldur's Gate 3. All of these games are your top 4 highest rated. I don't know what the 5th is. We're just ignoring the 5th.
I think it's Nintendo bias. You got to subtract 10 from all Nintendo games.
Oh, look at you. This is an interesting subject we should talk about. You think there's a bias there, a Nintendo bias?
Yeah, like Nintendo first-party games are so rare. They do release with good quality, but
yeah,
they're so the audiences are so desperate for stuff from them that they're just over the moon when they get something.
Wow.
And they don't have a default upset position, even though Nintendo does terrible things for the game industry.
This is going to spark some interest in the crowd. They're going to be
I
right in.
love this. I always love when I feel like I got a hot take.
Yeah.
And then Bo is my shield. And he's like...
I've always felt this way.
He just dives in and he's like, don't worry, John, I'm going to give you freedom to say whatever you want because it's all going to be hitting me. I was about to say, it's not surprising because I don't think scores for Mario should matter. Like, to me, they don't count. Like, who cares? Like, what Mario is. Am I going to play this game? Like, okay, let's say a game gets near perfect scores, right? One of the highest reviewed games in the world, and it's, some new RPG or action game that came out. It's not an established franchise. It's its own thing. Pretty safe to say that you could say to any person on the planet, go play that game and they'll get something out of it if it got reviewed that well.
Yeah.
I feel like Mario is it's a known quantity. It's always super solid. It's always super good. You know what you're getting and then you play it and it is what it is. And they've perfected it over 1 trillion iterations of Mario. And you play it and you go, yeah, it's really good. What are you going to subtract a point from Mario for? Like, his Wahoo sounded slightly less enthused this go around. Like, yeah, it's a known quantity and they're not bad at it. Like, honestly, I'm shocked people don't just universally give it a perfect score because it's just the game. But I don't love Mario games. So I have zero interest in playing this game because I've played a bajillion of them. And I don't think that the pipes get weird and wiggle around is enough for me to go, Yeah, baby. This is gonna really set. Oh, he turns into an elephant now. Hot damn! This changes everything.
Yeah,
like,
but to their credit,
it's
you
fine.
gotta go deeper than that, because the game, the way the game is being described by some of the more glowing takes, and I'm talking about full-fledged written reviews, they're comparing it to the best Mario's ever been. And then if you get into the minutia of it, isn't just simply I'm an elephant for a second, or these pipes get wiggly. It's not like that. There's more. There's more to it than that.
It's a rough angle to come from, considering Spider-Man has had a lot of games too. Maybe I don't know who wins in the probably Mario wins most games made, but
Oh yeah, most games probably.
Well, we're not dealing with
the scores
fresh
don't matter.
IP on the other side.
Yeah, scores don't. I mean, that's a whole separate thing. Scores, I agree. They don't really, in the end, matter. What you get out of a game is more important than any score that you've read. But if you just go by the metrics and look at what cumulatively has accrued the best scores of the year, BG3 being one of those, deservedly so, and then 3 other Nintendo titles, I think it's interesting for Bo to posit the idea that there's a hit, not even an intentional bias, like a weird little hidden bias that we don't even know we're doing, because it's like Mario, venerable series, been around forever, and yet they still innovate and make great games. I mean, maybe there's something to that. Maybe you're right.
There is a bias, because like Blizzard can't launch anything without getting shit on all day. It's like the reverse, right? Like Nintendo doesn't let people play games on Twitch or YouTube very easily. They shit on mods. The first thing I looked at was somebody modded Wonder to add F-bombs in it, and they sent legal notices.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like shit on everything that makes open source like good. Like they're so closed off. Their devices are always one resolution step behind the other devices. Yeah, they're innovative in the controller department, but they have positives. And I'm not saying they're bad games. I'm just saying overall, it's like, other companies be like, they have crunch, their game sucks, but Nintendo's like, they do awful things too, but we love their games. They're 10 out of 10. It's like, what are you guys talking about? Like, I played Zelda for an hour. Not that special. Like, it's
the thing is, they never sell. They never sell
they
a
talk
broken.
About it like it's. Yeah, I just think it's family oriented, easily identifiable as family oriented. There's a customer type that likes that style that doesn't get a lot of it. There's plenty of realistic looking games like Spider-Man. That sort of Unreal Engine up your butt. Genre or whatever.
The Unreal Engine up your butt genre.
Yeah, they're just squeezing out such high fidelity graphics, they're gonna blow your butt into the atmosphere. That kind of it's that kind of game, right? It's like, look at the water particles.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Mario's not trying to impress anyone.
They do it with gameplay though. The gameplay is where they impress.
The gameplay's great, like John said. We've done jump inside, move left and jump. Like, they nailed it.
See, I agree with you up to a point, but I think that's selling it short. I think saying, "Oh, jump left, jump right." That's not what this game is. The game isn't old Mario.
It 100% is what this game is.
No, it
and
isn't.
It's fine. There's a lot of people who like that, and they're gonna feel attacked because they're like, it's like you're saying, no, it's not what that is. It is what that is.
If that's all it was, if it was just jump left, jump right, I promise you, it would be panned. It would be panned in the reviews. People would hate this game.
No, because you still have to do a good job of it. And they're doing a good job of it. But I'm not going to play this game and go, oh my gosh, my opinions on Mario have been forever changed. This is the one that did it, even though that's what the review scores would say.
Well, how do you know it won't? You haven't played it. How do you know?
Because I've done it enough times with other Mario games to know that is true.
I mean, you asked us which you should buy, and you said they're both reviewing well, which is congratulations to them.
Yeah, they all are
but
doing
my
good.
decision making would be like, man, Spider-Man seems much cooler than Wonder. Like Wonder, I'll just say it from my perspective. I'll probably play it for 20 minutes, think it's cool, and move on to something else. But Spider-Man, I might actually play.
Here's what I think, Scott. I think you should get Mario. For one, Bo and I have just pissed off a legion of people, and at least they can find some ally in you. Two, this is your type of game. Like, this isn't my type of game. Guess what? As universally lauded as Baldur's Gate 3 was, there's going to be people who play that game and go, I can see why people like it, but it's not for me. That's all I'm saying with Mario. I've played Mario games before. I've never played, not since Mario 64, have I played a Mario game that made me transcend the way I think about gaming. Like they've been good. I loved
let's reel
Mario
it in
Galaxy.
a bit, like it doesn't have to be transcended, right? Like it's a high bar.
No, but if
Is
it's
it worth
one of the
buying to play for
highest
some
rated
fun?
video games of all time, that kind of is setting a
2023.
high bar.
Yeah, it's
right?
third on the it's third on that
It's
list.
not all time. 2023.
Yeah, just 2023, and it's
2023
also
is a real good year in gaming too, though.
it's also the third
fun.
down on the list of 4. So it's not actually, it's not like it's higher than BG3 is the highest of the year.
It's like disposable income. Like once you're over 90, it doesn't matter.
It's like I bet it's a
your
phenomenal.
first 20,000 does a lot for your life, but when you're making 200,000, the extra 20,000, you won't even miss it if it wasn't there. And that's so these scores in this range. The rankings don't matter. They're all great games. They're high quality releases. We can all get behind that and agree.
Yeah.
I just like to knock 10 points off of Nintendo stuff because I know I will feel that way when I play them. People will say they're the best things ever. And I'll be like, I'm not having that much fun. Case in point, Breath of the Wild, which I tried to play 3 times and is boring. So I'm sorry. It doesn't mean the game is boring. It means I find it boring.
It means you found it boring,
And so I always knock about 10 points off because Nintendo games don't do it for me.
I add points to Star Wars games because I like Star Wars, and it can be a mediocre Star Wars game, but because I like Star Wars, a game that's a 70, a C game, would probably be a B to me.
Okay.
Because I will see past the faults in favor of the things I like. I'm not trying to tell Nintendo people that they like bad games. Mario's great. I've played a lot of fun Mario games.
I see people saying like,
not even Galaxy. Like I liked Galaxy.
Yeah,
but
Galaxy's
Mario
awesome.
64 felt like a different ball game to me. Like it felt like it changed gaming for me.
It changed gaming for
and
everyone.
I don't think Super Mario Wonder is not going to do that, but I bet it's really
Probably
good.
not. Probably not. But what it will do, this is one part I didn't say. Part of the reason this even is an argument is I've been playing so much open world, big games full of life, like Cities, Cyberpunk, freaking Mirage, all these games where it's just giant open world sandbox games. Nothing wrong with that. I love them. They're one of my favorite places to be. But I think that's why it might be appealing to me a little bit, because I'm like, oh, well, I can do something other than open world for a while. So I don't know. That might be why.
Maybe maybe it needs to be Mario. I had the similar enjoyment of Metroid Dread. I thought Metroid Dread was very good.
Yeah.
And it was not open world. It was Metroidvania, and I liked it. So maybe that's just what you're. I don't know if we were helpful. Were you asking to help or just?
No, I think this has been this is not. I'll say it this way: this has been entirely unhelpful. However, it's been really good content for the show.
I gave you a vote. I think you should do Super Mario Wonder, and I think from a practical reason, someone on the show has to play it. It's clearly not going to be Bo. It's not going to
be you guys. May as well
be
me.
Can you do so on the live stream chat, because this has riled people up. Let's get a poll going.
Yeah, we could do a poll. Let me do a poll real quick.
Let's do a benefit. If you do watch live, you get a benefit of some polling.
I'm going to start a
people
poll.
Listening know you.
Which game should Scott play?
Yeah, think about Scott, not about yourself.
Mario.
Like what Scott
and
likes.
I think Scott will like this type of game. He gets awestruck every time he plays a Kirby game. Like and I think there is merit. Once I get off this Cyberpunk train, even though we'll get to it with what we played. Like I completely understand why Scott is looking for a palate cleanser. Yeah. I'm kind of looking for a palate cleanser. Mm-hmm. I went from, you do Baldur's Gate to Cyberpunk. Like it's been a lot of just massive, long, story-driven games. And I think there is something to be said about, okay, I don't want a game that I need to invest like that into. I think you can do a lot worse than Mario. I'm not going to go find my Switch for Mario Wonder. And if that offends you, that's your problem.
Find your Switch. It's not just dust it off and charge it. It's literally, you got to find that bastard.
I don't know where it is. I have no idea. I didn't go find it for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I'm not going to go find it for Mario Wonder. But that's not me saying Mario Wonder is a bad game. They're lying to you. I'm sure a lot of you are going to like it. Go ahead and like it. I don't think Mario has been a game changer in a long time. I think they've made plenty of fun games. I've played a lot of them. I played the Hat Mario game, whichever one that was. Which one was the one with the hat?
Oh, that was Odyssey. Amazing game. Loved it. Loved Odyssey.
Yeah, that was all right. That was okay.
I think it's quite possibly the best 3D Mario ever made, and I love 64, and I'm even one of those weirdos that liked the spray one.
Sunshine.
Sunshine. I like Sunshine. I thought it was fun.
I thought Sunshine was okay.
Yeah.
I thought Sunshine was okay. I played it and I thought, well, how are they ever going to make a Mario game without a jetpack after this? Which, that's
they immediately got rid of it.
Then that's all they did. They never made it with a jetpack after that. But I've liked plenty of Mario games, but it's a known quantity, so it's very easy for me to go, I don't need it.
Yeah, no, I get it. Well, okay.
But
that's
I
probably
think
going to be
you
the way
should
I go, so we can talk about it on the show, but also I need to charge my I haven't touched my Switch forever. That thing just sits there.
I'm sorry, Scott. I really derailed it with my opening comments.
No. No, it's good content. Besides, the poll just ended. Here, I'll end the poll. Let's look at our results. So, where is it? 75% Mario, 24% Spider-Man. 1% abstained from voting because I forgot to put a dash between Spider and Man.
No, that is true. You did misspell it.
Yeah.
Spider-Man has a dash.
I was trying to
you
haul
know
ass.
why Spider-Man has a hyphen? Here's a fun story.
All right, go.
Spider-Man has a hyphen because Stan Lee did not want anybody to mix up Superman and Spider-Man, and he felt that it looked too similar without the hyphen, so he put the hyphen in it. This story gets even funnier when you know that there is a typo in, I don't remember what issue of Amazing Spider-Man, but an early one, like Amazing Spider-Man number 3, where they accidentally call him Superman. It's literally was published in the book. Someone, I think it's Doc Ock, it might be the first appearance of Doc Ock, refers to him as Superman.
Really?
So it was there to avoid confusion, and then Marvel literally accidentally put it into the comic book themselves.
I love it. That's an amazing story. I didn't know that story. I pride myself on knowing these weird comic anecdotes. I did not know that one. That one's amazing.
He also gets called by the wrong name in his first actual issue. So he debuted in Amazing Fantasy when they finally gave him his own comic book. Or was it Amazing Fantasy? I think it was. Yeah. Anyway, when he finally got his own comic book, he was not Peter Parker. What was the name? They accidentally called him by a different name in the comic book for one issue only.
Donald Gunderson.
No.
I was hoping Bo would have a good fake name. That's amazing. That's good. You know what I've learned about Canadians while John's looking that up? You guys are great at pulling out bullshit names. And I love it. I wish I had the skill of doing that as well as you guys did.
Peter Palmer.
I would have just stopped
that's what they
bullshit,
That's what they called him, Peter Palmer. In
Peter
the first
Palmer?
episode, or first issue.
Was that meant to be his name, or was that an accident?
No, it was an accident. Because he had previously been called Parker before he got his own book.
What? Peter Palmer?
Palmer.
Developers. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I just saw something about this. Older comics, sometimes accidents would happen like that. And one of them was, I don't remember what this issue was or what the comic was, but someone had given the letterer instructions. This was all, hand done lettering back then. Yeah. And gave them instructions about what they're supposed to do on a certain page. And so one of the word bubbles, everything's great on all the dialogue until they get to this word bubble where the word bubble in all caps and bolded is stuff like, try and keep away from left margin, no more than 22 point type, like instructions. But they're in the bubble. Like I thought it was dialogue.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff.
That stuff is amazing. I'll give you one more that's a risque but fun one.
Is this what you get to know about if you don't like doing things?
Yeah, because you just stay at home and you learn a bunch of fun information. Yeah, I got a third one.
You know all the typos in the run of Amazing Spider-Man?
This one might be well known. I'll see if Scott knows this one. Right. Do you know why the character Power Girl, Power Girl?
Yeah, Power Girl, yeah.
Do you know why she is so buxom?
I should know this because Jerry Conway, who listens to the shows, by the way, the creator of Power Girl and Man Thing and Gwen Stacy's Death and a bunch of others. He was co-creator of The Punisher. The guy is a big-time comic guy. Shout out to Jerry.
I
Hey,
love
Jerry.
Jerry Conway.
He's
if
a great
he's
dude.
listening to this, amazing, because he did Spider-Man Renew Your Vows, which got me back into comics.
Oh my gosh, he's
after I
responsible
quit
for
a
that.
while.
I'm gonna have to tell him that. He'll love to hear that if he doesn't hear this episode. But anyway, I'm gonna say that I think I heard this story. Oh shit, though. What? Okay, why does she have big boobs? You have to tell
It's
us.
been a long time, so I can't. I'm gonna be careful about who I put the fault on, but I believe it was an artist that was getting frustrated for whatever reason, and just decided they were gonna start drawing her boobs bigger and bigger every issue until somebody said something.
So someone noticed,
and
Wow.
nobody said anything for a very long time. And it got to a very ridiculous size, and then by the time it was caught, there was no turning back.
Damn,
so
dude.
Power Girl,
it was
known
canon?
for being a bit ample,
It was
and it
two
is the
cannons.
result of a rogue artist just having a bit of fun and trying to play a joke, and nobody caught on in time, and made comic book history as a result.
Amazing.
Maybe they thought the spider bit her boob and that made them grow bigger.
Two double up spider bites. Maybe the spider got caught between them and just said, "I'm fine. I'm biting both boobs, and they're going to grow until you guys do something about it."
Exactly. He was trying to claw his way out desperately. He bit both.
There you go. That makes perfect sense to me. Oh, one quick thing before I forget. I picked up that Elite Series 2 controller. Wanted to
is
show
that
this
leather?
off a little.
Look at it.
It's got that
nice.
cool metal D-pad thing.
What is the black stuff? Is it leather? Or
it is
has
grippy. I wouldn't. It's definitely not leather, but it's grippy. It's not. It's like rubberized, but it's unlike the other regular controllers. Don't have this grip stuff. What I didn't know. So it's meaty. It's heavy. It feels, like it's meant for more than your average controller, and I like that about it. Also got a really good price, which helps. What I wasn't expecting to like or even notice was these analog sticks. They're on metal, like a large metal bearing, and they're so like, I can't even explain. I can't do it with sound. You got to feel it to know what I'm saying. They're just so smooth, and the balls in this, they're not the same as the plastic stuff you're used to. I like this a lot. It's nice. Chances are, though, next year they're going to release like
nice balls, huh?
They got really nice balls. I like the trigger throw adjustments, and I know this was in the Series 1 as well, but you can make it so they pull short if you want them to, or even really short, like short buttons or deep. And I find the mid setting to be just really comfortable and easy to use for shooters and stuff. And I'll get to those later that I've been playing them, but I really like this thing. Very happy with it. Yeah. Although,
I promise you, I took more away from what you said than the word balls and deep, but that's the first two words that come to mind based on your review.
It's Elite. It's called
the
Microsoft.
Xbox Series Elite. They had a Series 1. John has that one.
Yeah,
Somewhere. And the Series 2 came out, I think, last year or the year before, maybe last year. I don't remember.
What's the satellite dish for?
Satellite. Oh, this thing. That's your D-pad. See?
Oh.
And it's great. I didn't think I was going to like it. I actually really like the D-pad. I thought this looked weird, and it's metal.
It's changeable, right?
Yes,
Or
you can
is
swap
that
it
not
out.
the case? Like you can swap it for more traditional.
Yeah, all this stuff is swappable. That's one other thing about it. It's modular. So the analog sticks you can take out, get long, stocky ones if you want, or longer. It's not like you're going to be way up here or something, but you can swap out the back paddle stuff. You can swap out trigger. Everything is like customizable however you want to use it. But in its like current state, I'm pretty happy with this. And the D-pad feels great. Love it. Anyway, big fan. Someone in the chat says they got drift on theirs after 2 weeks. We'll see after 2 weeks. I haven't had any problems yet. But these analog sticks just feel like expensive things. And I'm not used to that from my analog sticks. There's like, I don't know, kind of a metal. I don't know how to explain it. But I'm currently sort of into it. I'm into that controller a lot. I like it. I like a good controller, and I can plug it into my PC, take it to my Xbox, use it wherever I want to, Bo. You know?
Would you say it has a hearty feeling?
It has a hearty feeling. Yeah, like soup.
I would say the Xbox, even the vanilla, the amateur controller, also feels pretty.
No, they're good. I like them because they're workaday controllers. That's one thing I will give Microsoft. They may not have all the fancy stuff that my PS5 controller has, and there's nothing wrong with this. I like this controller too, but this feels like plastic, and it's, these sticks aren't They don't feel meaty. Doesn't feel heavy. What this controller does is amazing, though, with like the DualSense stuff and all that, and I like it. But Microsoft has always made just a beefy construction quality controller. It's just like, grr, you know, like this is going to last. I'm going to drop it. It's going to be fine. I like that.
I like that you said it like it's gonna happen.
It's going to happen at some point.
I'm gonna drop this controller.
It's going to hit this hard floor, and I'm going to be pissed as hell, but it's going to still work and not even show anywhere. And that's exciting. All right, let's move to our big topic this week, the one we missed last week by a sheer number of puny hours. Here we go. You probably have heard all about this, everybody, but the ABK Microsoft acquisition, or Microsoft's acquisition of ABK, that's Activision Blizzard King, went through and happened. They celebrated on Friday last week, putting up a video that I thought was pretty great. It was maybe a little over the top, but I liked it. Showing a bunch of game franchises all coming together in a big montage. So you had stuff that they already have, you know, shots of various Bethesda games here and there, and Microsoft properties, Halo stuff, all this interdispersed with like things like, ooh, there's World of Warcraft, and they have a little part where Chris Metzen's talking about home and family, and then they move on to other stuff. You see Inarius walking in there looking for his ex-wife, you know, that kind of thing. And it was all like, we're all here. Oh, and Call of Duty. So you got Price and all those guys going, Call of Duty. And one big video with some really great music, very crescendo-y and exciting. And I'm sure that sat on somebody's hard drive for like 3 months because they haven't been able to release it. And that cracks me up to think about it. But yeah, it happened. We're done. Few key questions people have had, though, about this deal now that it's over. What of Bobby Kotick? Bobby Kotick will leave at the end of the year. That's sooner than anyone expected, quite honestly. There's always a transition. You don't just do it day of. It's not like on Friday, Phil's going to get up and go, see ya, Bobby. It doesn't work that way. So they're going to do it, you know, very shareholder-friendly sort of transition. But he's out of here at the end of 2023, which isn't that far away. So
revel for his departure, fear for his return.
Yeah, I don't want him back ever in any context. He can go hang out, go have lunch with the guy from Unity, Bartnick.
Don Docatello.
Don Docatello, that was it.
Yep.
Riccatello and him can go be friends, make sweet love to each other in the back of their expensive car, whatever they want to do. But he's not going to be there anymore. And the other big thing was suddenly everybody had questions about whether or not all the games were heading to Game Pass right away. And they had already said that when this goes through, do not expect Game Pass to get these games from Blizzard or Activision or even King until next year. They had already said this months ago. But they have to keep reiterating it now. Partially, my theory is because Diablo showed up on Steam on Friday without too much advance warning. It just was there and had an introductory discount and was there to be there for Season 2's launch and all that stuff. Like Steam just suddenly had Diablo 4 kind of out of nowhere.
It was coming that day, though. We did.
You knew more than any of us. You had picked it, right? You were the one that said Diablo was the next game.
Well, that is true, but we did know when it was hitting Steam as well.
Did we?
Knew it was, yes, they said it was coming to Steam and it was going to coincide with the launch of Season 2.
I missed that.
Is exactly what happened.
Oh, I missed that because I thought it was a big surprise. Well, anyway, I think that's why a lot of people are asking, well, if you're doing this, you guys are hauling ass. Let's go ahead and get it all on Game Pass.
Well,
like,
they
no,
also did it with Bethesda.
Yeah.
When that happened and they were like, hey, we've got Bethesda, a bunch of Bethesda games popped up on Game Pass.
Yeah.
So there was some curiosity if there was going to be a big surprise, just like, hey, check out all these Activision titles popping up because this deal happened, and they're saying no, don't anticipate that.
I think one downside
obviously it didn't happen.
Yeah, I think one downside would be this, that maybe they have a harder time on the Blizzard side, for example. If I really want them to have a transition service so I can move my Diablo stuff to Steam. And I know they already support cross-platform saves and stuff. I don't mean that. I mean, it would be nice if there was a migration. So you've bought the game on PC on the Battle.net thing. Well, if I want that over on Steam, I'd like to migrate it. And that means I wouldn't be able to play it on Battle.net anymore, but I can have it on Steam because I've already paid $70 for that game. Something like that would be nice.
Yeah, they don't want you to do that. They want you to buy the game.
They do want me to buy it again.
And not only do they want you to buy the game again, they want you to buy a new specialer edition version of the game.
That's true.
If you would be so kind.
Yeah.
Like, you can buy a base game, but why buy a base game when you can buy a collector's edition?
Yeah, why not? If I can get a puppy in a backpack, why wouldn't I do that? Yeah, anyway, I don't know. Like, I don't know how soon in 2024, but I think that's about what I expected. It doesn't seem crazy to me that those games, including, Heroes and everything else, could show up on Game Pass pretty quickly within the next year. The bigger question is they were so quick in getting Diablo there. Sorry, let me back up. I heard from somebody who either worked at Blizzard or knew people who did, but I promised I wouldn't share his name. He said that Diablo was supposed to launch on Steam simultaneously during its launch on Battle.net. So the actual original D4 launch dates, what was that, June, July, whatever it was. I don't remember now. Was it June?
It was okay.
Oh my gosh.
It was like April, wasn't it?
Was it April?
Much earlier this year.
It might have been April. The original plan was to do day and date Steam for Diablo 4, but they couldn't because of there's some big technical hurdles with the way Battle.net does stuff, and that was the big hang up. And so this was supposed to happen already. They're making it seem like it's a big deal just to kind of have it as a big blowout for season 2, blah, blah, blah. Do you want to get into who won the bet, though, now?
Yeah,
on Diablo?
let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
John's original notion that it would be the next game, you get some partial points for that, I believe.
Yes, I looked it up. I did my homework because I love being right, which is going to make the later parts of this discussion harder. But I went and listened to the episode to hear what everybody's predictions were. And it was actually Scott whose prediction was that the second game on Steam was going to be Heroes of the Storm. I thought it was Bo, just because Bo likes Heroes so much.
All right.
But Scott said he thought it was going to be Heroes of the Storm or the Blizzard Arcade.
Yeah.
And he said, I guarantee it's going to be one of those two. Bo, when asked, Bo was a bit indecisive. He didn't really pick anything. And then me being impatient, I thought Bo was going to take my answer of Diablo 4.
Yeah.
And so when Bo went, well, maybe, I cut him off and said, don't take mine. It's Diablo 4. And so I hijacked it. So yes, I was right about what the second game was, but we did a new bet last week.
The new bet was
what the Steam reviews were going to be.
Right, because the state of things for Overwatch 2 on Steam are pretty abysmal, overwhelmingly negative, and they have been for a while. And we all agreed that this wasn't going to be a fair fight when it landed there. Like, there weren't going to be people who are like, well, now that it's here, I'm just going to review it as if it's a good game or whatever. No, there are people that are just sniping Blizzard, and that's fine. Do what you want to do. But we knew there would be negative reviews just for the sake of it. So the question was it going to be somewhere in the positive range, mixed, mostly negative, or overwhelmingly negative? I chose mixed. John chose mostly negative. Bo said overwhelmingly negative. Now, we didn't give it a time frame, like how long are we going to let reviews compile before we accept that score?
We said we would decide a winner by the show after it launched.
We did? Okay.
Show.
All right.
Yes.
I'm glad we did that because that's all we've got here. I'm happy to report that I won. It's mixed currently right now. So take that. Go home with your leg between your legs. Or wait, your tail between your legs, your leg between your legs.
Put your leg between your legs and go home.
Yeah.
I will say this, though, just to give Bo and I our little props, our little kudos. And to you too, Scott, because you said you thought you had a good chance of winning this because, as you pointed out, in order to review it, people were going to have to buy the game.
Right.
So unlike Overwatch 2, where you could install it, launch it, and then, spend no money, you can go and give it a bad review. You were going to at least be temporarily in the hole for some money to leave a bad review, and your review is going to say, played barely any and product refunded or whatever.
Right, little red
So there was a lot of extra steps if you wanted to review bomb Diablo 4. Yeah. And you said that's why you thought it was going to be mixed. I think that's exactly why it's mixed.
Yeah, I do too. I think it'd be less. If this was a free-to-play game, Bo would have been right.
Well, if this was a free to play game, Bo not only would have been right, but I also think justifiably a lot of people would have.
I mean, I'm probably right. If
Given
everyone who bought the game could leave a review, maybe then it would be right.
And I think that is what I'm getting at. If you do go and look at the reviews, you can see people's general opinion of the reviews. And the negative reviews are being elevated significantly by a lot of people flagging it as a positive review.
Yeah.
Whereas the positive reviews are generally being pushed lower. While that doesn't change the overall score, I do think that shows the sentiment that Bo and I were anticipating is still there, although not impacting the overall review of the game.
I think look, there's a lot of things Blizzard has done in the last 3 years that I have a big hard problem with and a bit of a falling out with. But I still think, whatever, people are allowed to do whatever they want, but Overwatch 2 and then this getting negative reviews just for the sake of saying Blizzard's dead, or whatever the review says, some of those are just like that, is bullshit. Because this is a good game. It may not be perfect yet. It may not still be up to whoever had whatever standards they have, but it's still an amazing action RPG. It is still the OG. It is still the GOAT. The series is. And I think 4 is a great game. Like, legitimately a great game. I don't think... I hate this kind of review culture because I think we should have a forum for complaining about Blizzard. I just don't know why it's reviews. Maybe that's because that's all they have. We talked about this, so I don't want to rehash it.
Yeah, we did. This is where it's at. Yeah. I think this is spot on. I actually think it's a great review system. The problem is it's binary, right? Like, there's no scale. It's, do you recommend Diablo 4 or don't you? And I've said I feel like I got my money's worth. I even bought the more expensive version and I got a decent, I would say above average experience for the base game. I think that the end game that I participated in, the direction of the game at end game, a lot of the systems that are in place at the time that I was playing are bad. If you ask me, do I recommend Diablo 4 to somebody? No, I would give it a thumbs down. And that's me saying the game is good, but I would give it an ultimately negative because I don't think I would recommend this game to somebody right now. That's where my head is at. That's not me trying to shit on Diablo. I think that the game needs fixing. I think that's apparent to anybody who's been paying attention to the things they themselves have said. Season 2 has a lot of cool features in it, but a lot of those features are fixing things that didn't work in the game and changing the way things worked in the game because it wasn't a good system out of the gate. That does not indicate a game that is easy to recommend because everything's working as intended. And Steam being a binary, do you recommend this game, yes or no? Again, my review would be, I really liked leveling through the campaign. If that's what matters to you, then this is great. Overall, I wouldn't recommend the game.
What if they said all I want to do is just play this story?
Well, that's why that would have been in my review.
Oh, that's a good point.
All you want to do is play the game, sure, get it. But overall, I wouldn't recommend the game. That's where my head's at with Diablo. I've also said the past 2 weeks, I think the things they're changing are really good. Give me hope for the direction of that game. For the record, I love Diablo 3. I think Diablo 3 is a great game, and I would have given a don't buy on Diablo 3 right after it came out. Some games evolve into greatness. Some games come out great right away. I think Diablo 4 has potential, but I don't think it's there. It wasn't there when I stopped playing. I haven't played Season 2. We'll talk to Bo, and I imagine I've heard a lot of really good things.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear your take, Bo, on this whole thing. But we'll save it for your section because I don't want you to blow it.
The section's about the purchase of
about ABK getting bought. Yeah,
but ABK getting bought. So I don't want to.
Good point. We'll save it. All good. Phil says he wants to revive old IPs. Somebody asked him in an interview, it's like, well, now you got a bunch of IPs like Zork and Hexen and, dozens of other old Sierra games and things like that. And he, said what he probably was going to say no matter what, but I think I believe him. He really wants to, he's stoked to bring some of that stuff back. In what form, how they do it, I don't know. I think the harbinger of how this should be done, Doom 2016 is a good example of this. How do you take something as venerable as Doom as fundamental to video games as Doom was, is certainly to shooters, and if not to gaming in general, and certainly PC gaming. How do you do that next? And 2016 figured it out. Even 3 couldn't quite figure it out. 3 has its moments, but it's not, it's not what we wanted. 2016 is what we wanted. Eternal is more of what we wanted. How did they do that? How did they pull that off? I hope it's that kind of thinking that goes into each of these games, because I don't just want Hexen for the sake of Hexen. I want a really awesome thought out, what the hell is Hexen and what is it today? That sort of thing. So that made me happy to hear him say that. So they're not just going to keep some of that stuff dead. Although I got a prediction. Zork, text-based adventure, right? That's how Zork is. Here's what I think they're going to do.
We're making Zork predictions today.
They're going to take Zork and they're going to use it as a way to test something. They're going to make Zork 100% AI-driven narrative text-based game, which actually should excel at doing that, because right now that's what AI is really good at. So give it large language model responses. You'd have to create some walls so that you can't just go insane, but that world would be hugely dynamic. And this is a use case for AI that I really like, and still make it text-based, put it on phones, because then you got a big mobile thing, do that, make some mobile money. That's where Zork will end up.
And have it do text-to-speech to you.
You could totally do that without any trouble.
That'd be cool, yeah.
You play it on your phone completely, like while you're riding your bike or something.
But I want it still to be text-based. It can be audio, but no, I don't want any visuals. The fun of Zork is your imagination. It's a little like D&D that way.
I like this prediction.
Yeah,
I like it. I'd check that out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'd play the shit out of that.
I mean, we played around on the show. I think, there was an AI that was experimenting with that sort of idea. And I remember us trying that on the show, where it was like, we got webbed up. We had to get away from spiders, and it would respond to a lot
they
of
have
different
those
ways to
Dungeon Master chatbots.
Yeah, that stuff's really fun. I think it's a really cool application of AI, and I think that stuff could be really, really neat.
Yeah.
I think that would be a super fun thing.
It's hard because we try to separate, or we have this separation with AI. We think of these modern image generators and people's stuff being, fed into a machine and then not getting credit for it, and all the political ramifications of AI. Like, that's become the conversation lately. But it wasn't that many years ago where the three of us or anyone else would sit around and go, oh man, you see the way the AI worked in Half-Life was revolutionary for the time. I can't wait to see what shooters do next. So we're excited about advancements in artificial intelligence in gaming. And so I'm trying really hard to just separate my problems with AI and the potential of AI in gaming. And it feels like that's a good place for it.
Well, and you need to, because again, it's gonna happen. That's why the conversation around AI can get really frustrating for me. Like, I got a lot of artists as friends.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely get the anxiety and the fear around it, but anxiety and fear isn't going to prevent it from happening. And my issue with the conversation around AI is it's like a bunch of people hearing that a hurricane's coming, and all they want to talk about is how much they don't like hurricanes.
Well, it's the same bias people have against nuclear energy. Like, nuclear energy is fairly
same
clean.
thing.
But
exactly.
Everyone's like zombies and bombs and Chernobyl, and it's like coal's way worse. Like, the actual, anyways. But everyone thinks magic nuclear stuff makes Spider-Man.
It's not the most, it's not the most productive conversation. It's like, yeah, you can talk about how much you don't like hurricanes, but I think the time would be better spent planning for it, deciding what you need to do about it, deciding what we should do about it collectively. Like, those are the important things to talk about and figure out, not all just gather around and try and yell a hurricane away because we don't like it. It's coming.
Yeah.
So, and I think that the important thing, that's why I don't like people that just instantly label AI bad, because it's like, you're doing that to try and shout down the hurricane. Don't do that. Just like, if you want to have a progressive talk about it, figure out how to adapt to it coming, and then let people talk about their applications and things that they want around it.
Yeah. You know what I realized though the other day? This is where I get worried about AI. I'm not actually worried about innovation in legitimate business or in legitimate entertainment or whatever. I'm less worried about that. Where I'm worried about it is the other day I use this 11 Labs thing to do voice stuff sometimes. And I've trained it on my voice so I can make all kinds of stuff that sounds just like me. And it's remarkably good. And I realized, oh my gosh, somebody could train my voice, including me if I wanted to. Have that thing ready to go on a soundboard, call my 85-year-old mother, and say, Mom, I'm in trouble. I'm in a prison in Uruguay. I killed 14 people, and also they want to, whatever thing they want to say.
$50 for bail. Can you?
I mean, people are doing that and getting away with it without the AI voice.
Exactly.
So yes,
exactly. It's already a big deal. They do it with text. They do it with other stuff when they take people's phones. But now there's like this brand new way, and you can go down.
But that'll push us more towards a Blade Runner future where everyone will have to have vid phones. Like you won't trust an audio. The reason in Blade Runner they use video phones, or even in Star Trek, is because you can't just trust an audio only signal. You have to see the face. It's more work. It's still fakeable, but not as much.
Yeah, but then seeing that catches up though. Eventually, we're going to be doing. There'll be real time video AI.
Yeah, and then what we'll have to do is like a breathalyzer imprint authentication on the phone.
We finally found a use for the blockchain, guys. You got what's your emergency blockchain number?
No,
you got to give me that if you want me to do.
You say that
breathalyzer imprint.
You say that though, John. That actually is true. What you're saying is true. And we all got all bunged up in NFTs and this and that and Bitcoin and everything. At the end of the day, the rock solid, impenetrable verification that technology provides might be the answer to all of our security needs moving into this new world.
No.
I think you might be right.
Let's
peer to peer.
Let's
It won't be peer to peer. It'll be tyranny. It won't be peer to peer in open source.
It's gonna be chaos, but this is what I mean, Scott. You actually gave a perfect example of what I'm talking about. That is a legitimate fear, and all I want is for instead of in this case I'm not saying you're doing this, but like as a example, instead of sitting there going, oh my God, it's gonna be chaos. It's gonna be so bad. Oh no. Call your grandmother and work out a system so that when it happens, she doesn't fall for it.
Yeah, that'll
help. Prep for it. And I'm not saying that that's universally the solution to everything, but instead of just doom and gloom, don't talk about AI, treat it like a boogeyman. Let's start planning stuff.
What was that movie you talked about earlier that was awkward with the parents? Or awkward?
Going and seeing A History of Violence in the theater.
Yeah, just say that'll be your secret passphrase. So how did A History of Violence make us feel? Uncomfortable. Okay, it is indeed you.
I like it.
I'm sorry you killed those 14 people. Let me help you.
Yeah, let me send you my $5,000 you're asking for, or whatever she needs to send. Yeah, I don't know. It's more to think about, but ABK ain't thinking about that right now unless they do his work. So to bring it back around. The other thing I wanted to mention is Phil said he has never been more excited about the future of Xbox than he is right now. That is corporate-y sound and speech, but I still believe the guy. There is something about him.
We have never been more excited. He's a good salesman.
He's a good salesman, but I believe him. He wears Hexen shirts. He has weird nerd shit behind him in all his photos.
He's a good salesman.
You could say it's all made up, but look at us. We have all that same kind of shit. We're all actually into it. He makes a lot of money. And he could retire tomorrow.
I need you to send me $5,000. I killed 14 people and I'm in a prison. By the way, I'm wearing a Hexen shirt, so you can trust me.
I don't mean that. I just mean I'm a people at their I'm a people at their word kind of guy. He seems to me to be genuinely into this, and I don't think it's just. Executive money makes you happy about everything. I really don't. And if I'm wrong, okay, well, something will come out and I'll be proved wrong. But right now,
I'm teasing you, but I get where you're coming from. We don't know. None of us know. People who think they know don't know. But what you can do is you can look at the evidence of things that he has said versus what we've seen. What's a good example of a story that we heard? We heard that when they acquired Bethesda, they went hands off with Redfall because they thought, we don't want to bungle it up and get in and interfere. What did we hear from the Redfall developers? We really wish they were going to cancel this thing. There was a clear miscommunication there. Meanwhile, they said we had more time with Starfield. We were able to work more with them and help them get a game that they were proud of.
So they can
Regardless
make
of how you feel about Starfield, like there's a lot of people that don't like it, but best-selling game of the month, like did quite well. We're going to talk about that too. So
there's nothing wrong with Starfield.
The evidence is there to back up things Phil has said with things we have seen. I think it is okay to give a level of benefit of the doubt, but yes, we don't know. We don't know other people who are hearing this and going, he's a scumbag. You don't know either.
I'm just memeing Scott. I don't care. I'm not shitting on Starfield because I generally think that. But
I think that game's great. Here's the thing, though. Like, if Bobby Kotick said, I just played video games last night, and if Phil Spencer said, I was playing video games last night, I believe Phil. I don't believe Bobby. Bobby hasn't played a game in probably 30 years.
Oh no,
he's playing the game of life for real.
I'm saying
Scott.
Phil is a good salesman. He's not only the president, he's a subscriber.
Yeah, he's a hair.
He plays the games. That's the whole.
He has a Game Pass account at the very least.
I'm just saying he's not firsthand making the things, and we know he's capable. Even if he's directing the ship, bungles can happen under him, aka Redfall. Whoever's fault it is doesn't matter.
But a single game, like I can't. That game, that was a crying shame. Everything about it.
Sure,
But
maybe they learn a lesson and it never happens again.
Yeah, I don't look at that and go, "Oh, this is a failure," because of this one game from.
I'm just saying he can say like, "I want to revive a bunch of stuff," and people go, "Okay, Phil, I guess so," and they just turn in. We don't know. We'll see.
I mean, Darren in the chat is right. Bobby won either way, but Bobby's win.
But he's an executive. Like if you were in business, you'd probably admire Bob. If you were like, remember we talked about businessmen?
Oh, they love him.
A bunch of people really liked my conversation on this topic.
Yeah. Nothing but
if
positive
you were like
feedback.
Not a video game player, but you were like, man, I really want to be on a C-suite of a big corporation. You'd probably look up to a guy like Bobby.
Yeah.
Like, who gives a crap about nerds and their whining over microtransactions? Like, give me money.
Yeah.
How I make money. How I make most money.
Yeah.
Show me, Bobby. Show me your money.
Well, I did hear from someone who now works for Microsoft who used to work for, let's say, Activision Blizzard King, without getting too specific. And I asked them, I said, are they going to make you guys use like, Outlook and freaking Teams? You're going to have to use Microsoft Teams and all that. And he said, no. It's one of the first things we asked him. We have custom stuff we built ourselves. And we
have to use Teams?
Yeah.
That's a lie. My own computer's trying to make me use Teams.
Well, it's because Windows is Windows.
Bing.
Yeah.
It did it again. Opened up Bing. And I'm like, what is going on with your computer?
But that's the point. They're not. I think that the goal here is to let these developers make what they make. Redfall being a weird exception of they wish they had interfered. That's a weird thing, though. I don't blame anybody but freaking Arcane for that. Arcane owns that bullshit.
But it's the classic, we bought you play.
Yeah.
You buy something that's generating lots of money, doing well. Oh, yeah, we'll be hands off. You keep making that money. Once the money starts drying up or becoming dissatisfactory, here come the fingers.
Yeah.
And here comes the meddling. So, I mean, Phil saying that stuff is like, of course, they're buying successful studios. Like, we don't want to mess with the formula. Just give it 5 years. They're going to mess with everything. It's normal. It's unavoidable, I would think.
Yeah.
So, I think that's definitely the response you say when you buy a big company like ABK. We don't want to ruin the magic here. Yeah. But when the books don't look very magical, Phil might be like, yo.
Or people in charge of him will say, yo.
World of Warcraft, we're closing it down. We're making Hexen.
Yeah, you knew who I worry about? I don't worry about Phil Spencer.
We're doing Hexen all the time.
I don't worry about Phil Spencer as much as I do Pachai, the overall
the
CEO.
Hundreds of other nameless people, I'm sure, that are in the executive tier of that.
Well, there's a ton of them. But like Pachai in particular he was skeptical early on of like, what's the Xbox plan after they've screwed things up in 2013. And has given them a lot of rope and stuff. But I always worry that at that level, they're going to go, I don't like where things are going over there.
Things are working well, they leave you alone. If they aren't working well or you're in their way, then they don't.
Yeah.
So, that's just, yeah. And I mean, how old is Phil Spencer?
It's like my age or something.
55, it says here, according to Wikipedia.
He's
so
older than me then.
he's around 5 more years, maybe. You know, fills out.
He's not.
Both said it in a way like I thought he was dead. He's got 5 years. You hit 60, you die. That's just
no.
I
I don't mean that. It's just he's gonna need time to play video games and be like, look, it's a good run. Like he's not. This guy gonna work at Microsoft till he's 70? Like, I don't think so.
I mean, he could do like Tim Cook's in his mid-60s now. I don't know how much longer he's got at Apple.
If
but
he's still working there at 70, it will confirm my suspicion that he basically does nothing but just spread good vibes. Like, I'm pretty much like he's got the final say on things, but it's not like he's filling out paperwork. He's like, "What are we doing at Xbox today?" And everyone's like, "Oh, yes, boss." He's like, "Let's make a game. I want Hexen, or I want this." And he's like, "All right, I'm going home."
I feel like if Bo and I went to the mall tonight, me and Bo, we go to the mall, and I see a lady who's smiling, and I go, "Oh, she's got such a nice smile," and Bo would go, "She's hiding something." That's what you would do.
No. What I'm not saying is negative. What I'm saying is he's hang on, let me choose my words carefully because I know Phil's listening. What I'm saying is he's an extremely privileged position.
Yeah, he is. There's no doubt about that.
He's an extremely privileged position. I don't think he does much except for grease palms. He's a salesman, and I think that's what he's supposed to do. I don't think any executives grind out 40 hours a week. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're just talking to people all the time and trying to make shit happen.
Yeah.
People have meetings with them, and like maybe the hard parts when they're messing up, he's got to tune them up, which, makes sense as management. That would be something you'd do. But for the most part, that's why he looks so tired in the court hearings. He actually had to work during that time because they needed to get papers and stuff.
Also, can I just say, lighting in court hearings, like when they do video or photos in court hearings, the lighting in that place freaking sucks. Everybody looks bad. Have you noticed that? Yeah. Even people that normally look kind of bad. Like, I'm not trying to give Trump any leeway here, but when he sat in his thing in New York, it made him look so much worse. Like, everybody, the light comes down on your face. It makes you look old. It's shitty. And I'm not saying that's all that's going on with Phil. He was probably tired of all that court crap.
I'm just saying, if he retires at 70, then he's on easy street. If he retires at 60, maybe it's more like, it's a hard job, lots to do. Because I'm only guessing I'm trying to infer based on limited information. Infer?
Infer is what warlocks do to make
I'm trying to infer
more damage.
Yeah. So I'm not looking at something skewed negatively. Thanks for that, Scott, by the way. But painting yourself as a hero in your own story.
No, I didn't mean to do that. That wasn't my goal. Sorry.
I know. I'm just joking. What I'm trying to say is I'm trying to infer his day to day through what limited information and conjecture, speculation we have, and like I kind of feel like he's having a good time, and that's okay. But
that's okay. Yeah, I would look of all the executives in all of gaming. Who would you want to eat lunch with? Pretty much Phil for me. I can't think of anybody else. The guy at Sony just left, so I wouldn't even have a chance to go with him. Whoever they bring back, put in charge next, maybe he'll be great.
Or Chris.
Yeah.
Who's going to tell Chris?
Iwata would have been great over at Nintendo. He's awesome. Well, Chris, I'm talking like top level executive.
I'm like, you actually know somebody.
Like Kodak level, like up there at the top, golden parachute people.
Okay,
Phil's the only guy. He's the only guy.
People sounds like a derogatory term. Oh, stay away from the parachute people.
Yeah,
but they are parachute people.
I'll bet Tim Cook is a lovely person to sit and talk to, and I'll bet Phil Spencer's a nice guy to sit and talk to, and I'll bet
wouldn't it be Gabe Newell?
The Google guy seems nice. Gabe Newell.
Gabe Newell.
Oh, Gabe
Newell.
Newell.
Amazing.
Yeah, he'd be great.
Show you his knife collection and tell you what he's into.
I would awesome. I would eat with Gabe Newell.
You would talk about Final Fantasy XIV. Do you know that he plays a healer in Final Fantasy XIV?
Whoa.
I did know he played. I didn't know he played a healer.
His kid is super into it, so in order to have family time, he plays support. There was an interview I watched. He was going off. He knows. He's deep in the Final Fantasy.
Yeah, he was playing it on Steam Deck before it was confirmed to work on Steam Deck.
So
interesting that Gabe Newell could get that to work just fine.
Yeah, that's
interesting. Gabe would have plenty to talk about, I'm sure.
Is that true? That's Steam Deck verified now?
I don't know if it is now, but I mean, Gabe's playing it on there. I'd assume someone figured out how to do it.
Attempting to try that. I like.
There might be mods too. Sometimes they have controller.
Man, it's a long game, Scott. So it's a good Steam Deck experience.
It's a good lay in your
I've heard the
game.
Controller experience is really good. Kyle plays it on controller frequently. So
yeah, PS5. I did try the trial on PS5. Played great. So I assume it's just
I
as
think
good there.
it would be like I would love to chill with Chris.
Yeah.
Sometime
Oh yeah,
I guess
Chris
when
would
I
be
go to
great to
BlizzCon,
chill
so I
with.
can't lean on you this year for Hey, can I?
He's easy. He's
go
one
see
of the
Chris?
easiest
Can I come
people
with
to
you?
get along with ever. But
But
if you're talking like a guy who is at the upper echelons of anything,
Phil would be up there. Phil's
there.
on the short list for sure.
Yeah.
Phil's on the short list.
He seems nice.
Gabe.
You know who
I'm
else?
trying to
Someone in the
think
chat said, "What about let's see, where is it? What about Todd Howard?" I like Todd Howard. I think Todd Howard looks like he never wants to be anywhere that he's at, and I could be wrong.
Maybe me and Todd Howard have a lot in common.
Maybe.
Hold on.
He just always looks like he needs to be there. He has to get up and do the thing, but he'd really rather be at the office making shit. That's how he always comes across to me. I could be wrong, and they made him the rock star of Bethesda, and that's okay. Oh, we didn't even put this in the news, but what's his name stepping down?
Pete Hines.
Pete Hines, yeah. 25 years over there. It's a long time. He's out of there too. But anyway, yeah, Todd Howard always seems like, yeah, I know I have to be here, but really, I'd rather be eating a Big Mac by myself in my room.
Man.
I don't know why I get that vibe, but
you know what? I've never liked Todd Howard more than how you're describing him right now. I would have some things to talk to Todd Howard about.
you guys would hit it off nicely, I think.
That would be fine. I'd be like, Todd, let me tell. It is goddamn ridiculous
Yeah.
that these games still have these problems. Stop having modders fix your issues.
No,
These
say
have
to
been
him,
around
Todd.
since Morrowind.
Todd, my PC crashed 3 times trying to make a ship, and I never got to fly this ship. What's going on?
Todd, the magic of space, you ruined it for me.
But then you would eventually get to, isn't it nice that no one else is here and we don't have to do anything and I'll never talk to you again? And you'd have all that.
We'd just be like best friends. I'd be like, I'll call you in 6 months, Todd. Just do it.
Oh, Reggie Fils-Aimé. That's interesting. Reggie would be, I would love to meet Reggie, but Reggie talks the way in regular conversations, the way he does on stage. And so he's always like, the Wii Fit is it. And lots of like, beep, ba-dip, ba-doop, ba-doo. And the rhythm of his speaking might kill me. I don't know if I could do it.
Do you know
Is it
though? Because
okay?
anytime you've seen him, it's been recorded.
Yeah,
and
it's
he
always
is doing
recorded,
his
but sometimes it's like him just in a chair on a podcast.
I don't think he gets up in the morning and goes, "Good morning, family. Today is a perfect day to be in the Fils-Aimé family."
That's it, though. When I've heard him in interviews, they're like, "So Reggie, when you were at Nintendo, something, blah blah blah."
But
and he'll
that's
go,
an interview.
It
of
is,
course
but it's
he's
not-
doing it.
but the
I
way he
wanna know
answers.
Yeah,
what
he's gonna be
talks
like, "Why are
about.
you interviewing me, bro? Like we're at my
Yeah.
house now."
Yeah, Reggie,
Not
my
normal, dog.
toast is burnt. Did you do something? Well, let me tell you what I did this morning. I put toast in the toaster. Really, you should call it bread because before you toast it, it's not called like I could see him doing that, and it would drive me up a tree. I don't know.
Today is the perfect day for Sally to open her Christmas presents. That's because it's Christmas.
I think he's a
Like,
I think he's a
that's the
lovely
window into
grandmother.
Reggie's life I want.
You nailed that, by the way. That's
Am I the only
dead
one that
on.
feels like he gives off nice grandma vibes?
Who's that? Reggie?
Fils-Aimé.
Oh.
Yeah, Reggie.
Yeah, he's probably a very kind-hearted, nice man. I just
Yeah.
can't get over the way he talks. And like John said, get him in a non-camera situation, non-recorded microphone. Maybe he just totally loosens up and starts just saying, "Yo, you want to play some Pikmin 4?" Like, I don't know what he wants to do.
The camera goes off and he goes, "Let me tell you about the sheeple out there." Reggie's sick of dealing with the sheeple.
Starts talking
Did you
third
know I
person.
invented the Bigfoot pizza at Pizza Hut? That was all Reggie.
That was him, wasn't it? I think
Yeah.
it was. That's
Yeah.
literally his thing while he was at Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
I love ex-pizza executives that go on to do electronics and home entertainment. I don't know why.
Another factoid you learn when you don't want to watch other people.
That's right. So who
Favorite
says you
kind
don't
of
want to?
parachute people?
Yeah. So Bo,
Yeah.
Bo was right what you were saying earlier. John, it's not that John doesn't like to do things. John likes to do things like that. You like to know that, why Power Girl's boobs were big and why Reggie Fils-Aimé used to work with pizza. That's doing things.
Yep, that's exactly it. Honestly, probably true. Because I probably did look at Power Girl and went, how did we wind up here? There's got to be a story here. And I probably went down a rabbit hole.
Does
And with
anyone else
Reggie,
know that?
I was probably
Did you
like,
learn?
what else did he do? Oh, he worked at Pizza Hut? What did he do at Pizza Hut?
Yeah. Yeah, I always want to know more about when someone says something like that, I need to know more. I can't just let that go. Someone in the chat says, who would you rather have lunch with, John Riccatello or Bobby Kotick?
Pass.
Yeah,
COVID.
pass in general, right? I don't want to go to either one of those guys.
Sorry, I got COVID, guys.
Let's make it a poll here. I'm gonna just do this real quick. See what the chat says. I don't want either one of them, but if you had to, I'd probably do Bobby because I'd want to ask some hard questions. It wouldn't be.
I wouldn't really want to talk to either of them, but I like that's the wonderful thing about not wanting to interact with people. I have to do it all the time, so I've gotten very good at it.
Yeah.
So I could go to lunch with either one of these two, and I think it would be fine as long as they're paying. Like, I bet I would get a really good lunch.
Yeah, you guys are going best
like,
place in
maybe
Manhattan.
I could check out Bobby's yacht. Maybe it would be nice. Like, I've never been on a yacht. That could be fun.
You who likes not to do things would go have dinner with
no, but I
Bobby and
have
go on
to.
his yacht?
Like, I don't want to do either of these, like everybody else. But if I have to pick one, then I'm gonna try and look for whatever is gonna be the best experience of the two.
I like he who does not like to do things. That's a great name title.
You who does not like to do things.
That's right. The non-doer of things. All right. Well, that's your big news of the week, and it's very exciting stuff. Let's
Probably John Riccatello, because he hasn't threatened to kill anybody. Bobby, there's a chance I don't come back.
That's true. Riccatello's only threatened to kill 2 large corporations with his bad choices.
Yeah, I'm not a company. I'd probably survive that.
Yeah, you'd make it.
Corporations are people too.
Yeah. Just don't incorporate yourself before lunch. Go in there just as a man, all right, and you'll be fine. All right, we got to talk about games we played. Well, looky here. Cyberpunk 2077 still got some joint play between John and I, and I think I'm saved right before the horror elements John told me about last week. Yeah. I don't have a ton of new things to say, except what I did was still got distracted by a bunch of side content. Finally got back to Reed. Reed and I did some things. Met one of Reed's new friends at a bar. I don't want to give anything away there. And then a few more things after that, and then I got to a point where I think it's right before I have to make that call. So I saved there, and then I'll figure it out later and whatever.
Yeah, I sent you the quest name, which is probably the best way to go off of it. But because you met the friend, you are now keenly aware of some cool new cyberware that is in this game that I think is awesome.
I agree. There's stuff this is, the whole argument, is this an expansion or is this DLC? It's an expansion. Like, I think, like, there's enough new content in here that isn't just a new story mission that makes me very happy. Not a lot of new things to say about it this week, except to say I'm having a blast as always. I think that game rocks. It's still my 2020-2023 game of the year.
Nothing's been dethroned yet?
Not yet. This year is, in general, there's a lot of pretenders to the throne, but Cyberpunk has been the thing that I just keep returning to and keep playing and keep dinking with. And I've got other people playing it now that thought they weren't going to like it. Now they're in love with it. I just got a text from Liam today talking about how freaking obsessed he is with Cyberpunk 2077. And
is he just starting it now?
Yeah, I think he's just getting into it, which is a great time to play it, I guess, because, whatever. And he said...
No, it's in the best shape it's been. So
he said the nicest thing about... look, everyone looks at Liam and goes, venerable voice actor, a big deal in this business. Been around forever.
Funny guy, too.
Funny guy, great guy.
Bunch of shorts on YouTube.
And then he says the VO is so good, he says.
Yeah.
That's a big compliment
from
him. Yeah, it's amazing. Anyway... and props to the Korean actress who plays she's Korean American, but yeah, Songbird. She, even though this doesn't give anything away, there's a chunk of time where you don't get to talk to her, and I was kind of worried I wasn't going to again. But holy crap, when she comes back, she puts in a performance. She is so good. So that's all I'll say.
They did so good with the performances and her existence. I actually thought. I'm going to talk around spoilers here a little bit.
Right.
Do you see what I mean when I feel like there was a story beat that was what if we can't get Keanu back story beat?
Oh yeah.
Very early in that game, I was like, oh, they wrote Keanu out of this story. What, could they not get him for much of the expansion? But I'm so happy that that's not the case. They're all over the thing.
Yeah.
Which was really good to see. But
there's more.
I was worried for a little bit that Keanu got booted out.
Well, that's kind. I mean, and they could have gotten away with it because they could have said, "Well, now your inner voice is a different voice, and it comes from a different place, and Keanu will be fine." Plus, many of you have beat the game, and you're kind of done with him. You can kind of feel like you're done with him anyway. So I could see them getting away with that, but I'm so glad they didn't. Not that these other introduced people aren't amazing; they are, but having him in the mix is such an anchor for the rest of the game that he shows up and sits down and makes a face at you, and you're like, oh yeah, this is comfort food right here. This
or
is
making fun of you because you don't know how analog phones work.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah, that game's great. But John, anything else you want to mention or you saw or did?
No,
or?
I beat it. I beat it again. I decided to kind of just push forward to the ending. I did not pay enough attention. I was going to go for the secret ending. There is a secret ending to Cyberpunk. I did not pick the correct options to get the secret ending for Cyberpunk, and I also did not make the correct choices to get the Phantom Liberty ending to Cyberpunk. So I had to pick from one of the original endings that exist for the game, but I chose one that I'd never really considered as an option, and honestly, I loved the ending. I loved it more than the first ending I got to the game. And
it was a vanilla ending.
I
like vanilla Cyberpunk ending, not an expansion.
Yeah, it was from the original base game.
When there were 3 endings to that, one secret, 2.
I think
like
I think
5 or
there's
6.
Yeah,
Oh.
there's a bit of there's a
didn't know
lot of things that can happen, a lot of ways.
What was your what ending? Was your ending?
All right. Spoilers for the ending of original Cyberpunk from 3 years ago.
Yeah,
I've seen them all. I replayed all the original ones,
Yeah.
so
I
know them all.
let Johnny Silverhand have my body.
Oh yeah, cool. So
Oh.
you meet the kid and you do that,
Yeah.
live that whole life. Yeah, that's awesome.
Actually, a fantastic ending. Thought it was gonna feel really, really bad because it seems like a bad ending.
Yeah.
But actually was really fantastic.
That's cool.
It's actually one of the few endings where it isn't it's melancholy, but it's not like I'm gonna die. Like most of the endings are like I'm gonna live as V as long as I can. It's like a sad, but it's like, man, you gave yourself up.
You live
and
on
Johnny
in
gets
another
life,
way.
So
Yeah.
he rides off into the sunset.
Yeah. That's
You
as
know.
close as you get to a happy ending in a game like that. I
Yeah.
think.
So I
Well,
really
I think
liked
the
it.
happiest ending is hanging out with Pan Am, driving off.
That was the ending I was going for. That was actually what I was gonna do, and then I just kind of got this weird feeling at the deciding point near the end, and went a different way. But yeah, it's a fantastic game. I'm now looking for a palate cleanser. I don't think that's gonna happen based on what came out today, but I need it. And here's the crazy thing: I finished the game. Last time I finished Cyberpunk 2077, I started playing Fortnite. That's when all that started for me.
Oh, right.
This time,
Yeah.
I immediately restarted Cyberpunk 2077 on the hardest difficulty with a different background and started all over again. And have been playing a Netrunner build. So I guess I can say that I did play more of it at a higher difficulty and doing some different things from before. But yeah, it's just really good. Just having a good time with
That
it.
means so this would be your 3rd full run if you go that far with it.
If I go through with it, yeah.
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 And if you do, it'll be the 3rd time you hear this. Hold on. See if I can find it. Nope, can't find it. Well, that was a fun thing to mention that I can't actually pull up now.
Can you impersonate it?
Here, Jackie. Okay, here it is. This is the 3rd time you'll hear this. And you'll be better for
And
it.
that has definitely happened because I heard it.
Yeah,
I have heard that. So that has happened.
That is a meeting of dead people, and that's all I'll say about that scene. All right, moving on. Cyberpunk, good stuff. Check it out. All right, I played a game. I guess you'd call it an indie. It's a sequel to a game that was pretty popular called Forgive Me Father. This is Forgive Me Father 2. And I'm going to pull up some videos so people at home can see it. This is a retro-like shooter. I've been into those lately. And
A boomer shooter?
a boomer, I guess is what they're calling it. I hate the term, but whatever.
Yeah, Scott doesn't like that term.
I know he doesn't. That's why I remind him that that's the term every single time he brings it up.
Yeah, I hate it.
Because I'm trying to show Scott what the internet's going to do. The more you show the pain point, the more they're going to poke at it.
That's true.
You gotta just embrace it.
You're
Do what a lot of people thought and think it involves explosions and has nothing to do with an age, and then embrace it.
You're probably not wrong to say it that way. It is, but it's not. This isn't as boomery as the shooters have been lately. This is stylistically modern in a ton of ways. The world looks like it's drawn with charcoal pencils.
Oh yeah, this doesn't look like a boomer shooter at all.
Yeah, it really doesn't. But it plays like one in a way. But also the people you fight, the enemies you fight are what am I trying to call them? Sprites.
Pikmin.
So they're Pikmin, and you kill all the Pikmin, and then Miyamoto cries. No, you kill these guys that are kind of Doomish in that way. They're not polygonal characters. But they are also, they're sprites, but they're also like outlined and kind of comic-y charcoal pencil drawn as well. So they don't feel out of place in this otherwise 3D world. There's a lot of effects, like the floors are all shiny. There's, advanced lighting in the game. No ray tracing that I'm aware of, but some really moody lighting. It's kind of a Cthulhu-esque sort of adventure where something's gone horribly wrong. It's definitely Elder Gods sort of Cthulhu-style stuff. It has a really scary soundtrack that isn't even really music. It's more like discordant sound from a horror movie. And you might say, Scott, you're playing a horror game? It doesn't really feel like a horror game. It's like a shooter. It's like a shooter. Where you're shooting.
It's not a horror game, it's
I mean, it could. I guess you could say it. It's got jump scare. I've had a few moments, but so did Doom. So I can't really call it a horror game. It's not Resident Evil. I'll put it that way. No. But it is very good. This just came out today. I got it a few days early via some developers who think I'm the only host on this show. Just kidding. That's not true at all. I made that
got out ahead of that one. Nice job.
Yep. Good job.
But it's gory, and this guy's only using a knife in my video because he's at the very beginning, but later he'll start picking up weapons. Here's the revolver now, and that gun blows.
You were gonna say because he wants to get up personally, wants to make him feel it.
That gun rocks because you can not only get great headshots, but when you hit somebody, this is a little dark so you can't see it, but in more well-lit zones or parts of the game, they just explode in guts everywhere. It's great. Proteus comparable, I would say, in terms of like the amount of blood gore in the game. Really thematic and moody. I didn't play the first game, so I can't speak to it. It looks similar. I've seen video of it. This is scratching a very specific itch that I was already trying to scratch for the last couple of weeks, and this is just what I was looking for. Very excited to play more of it. I got decently far. Shotgun's awesome. I love a good shotgun. There are parts of the game where you need a light to see, like a flashlight, but it's this old-fashioned, this thing's set in like the 20s. It's this old-fashioned thing you have to pull like a cord on it to charge it. So it'll work for a little bit, and it'll start blinking, and you're like, shit, I'm in the dead dark. I can't do this. So you have to time it right so you're not going to get killed while you do it, but you need to pull this cord once in a while, and it sort of recharges your light. Just has a real visceral, tactical vibe to it. So it's more than just running around shooting shit. But for the most part, it is running around shooting shit in a great way. And I really, really dig this so far. So there's a demo. You can try this before you buy this. I think the final game's like $24. And if you're just looking for something that reminds you of old games but does some new things at the same time, I think this might be the one for you. It's hard too. I die a lot. You have settings for difficulty. You can tweak those or whatever, but having a really good time with it. Again, it's called Forgive Me Father 2, and perfect Halloween game. It's just very good. So super into it. Hope people check it out.
Looks cool.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Another small new indie game called Run Gore. You guys are going to love this.
You know what? Sometimes we make fun of names around here. This one's a quality name.
Yeah, it's a great name. I agree. It is. Let's see if I can find. Yeah, I meant that video and I didn't set it up earlier, but this is a auto attacking card deck building run and kill shit. It's hard for me to explain this. It's this pixely thing. You're this dude with a sword. You run through these dungeons. You encounter enemies, and when you do, you get a bunch of cards that'll pop up underneath you. And you get to choose after killing stuff like new cards you want to have and whatever. These cards might be damage, or they might be add armor, or they might be some third category of card that does something unique. The biggest difference here between like Slay the Spire or something like it is that the fighting almost like, they're cooldowns. So it reminds me a little of Final Fantasy where there's like a ticking, what's that called? We talked about this before.
The active time battle.
That's it. They kind of have that built into it. So you can't just sit around and make decisions. You kind of have to hurry up because the battle is happening. And you're both, the enemy and you are on a bit of a cooldown for each attack, but you will auto attack when you run into an enemy. The trick is to use the right cards while in that mode and do your best to defeat your enemy using the cards that you have. This part we're watching right now is just the tutorial. So the first couple of kills are kind of listening to the tutorial, but most of the fights are just, there's no pausing. You just have to go. And so these cards that are like attack with 4, you pull those up while the fight's happening, and his next attack will include whatever those cards do. If it's armor, it'll add it whenever you pull it up and pop it, whether you're on cooldown or not. When you win, you get a percentage of health back. If you're really good at this, you'll get all your health back because you won't have much missing. But the further you get, obviously, the harder that is. And you get new cards to choose or perks or whatever. Like a lot of familiar roguelike stuff is gonna be here for people, but I really just like the grungy take here. It's just kind of this weird, it appealed to me visually right away. I'm like, oh, what do we have here? And then thought I'd give it a crack, and it's real good so far. Great little time waster if you're into this sort of thing. Oh, this is a boss fight coming up.
I imagine the cards can't be too complex because of the action nature of the game.
Correct. They're pretty simplified. I won't say super simple because some of them are like, you've made him exposed with this card, and that means that if you do damage now, it'll be 4 plus 3. So you'll have cards like that, but they're not like full of text and a bunch of like secondary activity stuff. It's not, definitely not Hearthstone levels of whatever, but they a lot of them just make sense visually. You're like, oh, that's a damage card, that's a other card, that's a deflect card. You can kind of just see by looking. And it's I think it's the right amount of that kind of stuff. It just feels good. I don't know. I got really wrapped up in this. I like this game a lot.
Yeah, it looks like a nice clicker game. Like just like it's an auto battler, right? So
yeah, kind of an auto battler is a good way of putting it.
Kind of mindlessly sort of flick the cards out, do the damage, and it's fun and makes noise. And apparently it has memes too.
Lots of memes. They think they're very funny in this, and some of it is funny.
I was gonna say, the writing is a real.
It's hit and miss. There are moments where I think it's pretty funny. My favorite thing is when I was exiting for the first time. I said, hey, if you'd like to leave us some feedback over here on our Discord, that'd be awesome, because we seriously, we mean this, we don't really know how to make video games. And it was like this kind of fun, self-effacing. There's moments like that in the game, but there are also some really stupid.
Yeah, I mean, the developer's name, I'm on the Steam page, is your mom's hit point, HP. Your mom's HP.
See, I kind of like that. That's all right. Whatever.
There you go. That's all right.
Yeah,
That's better than anything I saw in the video.
Sometimes cringe humor is hit and miss. Sometimes it's cringy. Sometimes it's not. Or,
Yeah. So far, there's just a real fun factor happening, which is what I was looking for.
Yeah, I dig it.
I can't remember what I paid. I want to say this is cheap, like $7-something bucks. Oh, for those who want to play it on Steam Deck, it works on Steam Deck, but not with the controller. It uses the pad like a mouse. It works fine. It's not my favorite way to play on that device, but it works fine.
It's an early access, so they're still working on it.
Yeah, still an early game, getting all kinds of feedback and stuff. But I don't know. I appreciate these small teams with their weird shit.
Yeah, it's a cool concept for sure.
Yeah.
Like it's interesting to see kind of a fresh take on this style.
Yeah, a new. That's exactly right. It feels like a new take on an old thing that we've already seen a billion times, and it felt fresh to me. So there's that. I also played only a little bit so far of Lamplighters League. This came out a couple of weeks ago or a week ago on Game Pass and Steam. And this is the guys that did the Shadowrun games. So like the turn-based cyberpunkish recent Shadowrun games. But this is like Lamplighters League is in all 3D as opposed to the 2D stuff they did in that. It is got one of the best soundtracks I've heard in a long time. Top 5 soundtracks of the year probably for games. It's really good. The game itself is clearly taking inspiration from XCOM and other games like that. There's also kind of a real-time element that turns to turn-based. It's hard to explain. I will say this. Like, I was really excited about this when it first got announced. I think we saw it on one of our streams with either me and John or all three of us. I can't remember. We were watching one of the game award streams or something. That's where I first saw it. I remember getting really excited because, again, it's like this Cthulhu, Lovecraftian kind of vibe to it. It's set in the 20s. It's got a real swashbuckly sort of, listen here, see, we got a, like that kind of stuff. Yeah. Decent voice acting, amazing soundtrack, but the gameplay felt not quite done. Unpolished is a word you might use. I don't know for sure. Just something about it has a little bit of hitch and jank to it. I hope that stuff improves because that put me off a little bit, but I'm so early that I don't think it's fair to make a judgment yet. So Lamplighters League.
Yeah, I love the look of this. Like, I think it's got a really great sounding premise, a really great look, but I heard rough things that kept me away.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like it's something that I want to be awesome.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. There's something here that looks like it might be incredible, right? And then you play it and you go, oh, I don't know, something's wrong. And it seems like stuff they can fix. It feels like unpolished ideas or some things that were just like, another 6 months in the cooker and they may have had it. I don't know. It's hard to put my finger on it, but it is ambitious for sure. This intro movie alone is like, way more than these guys did with Shadowrun. And it's got great horror vibes, and there's some moments of like, holy shit, I can't believe that happened in the story. And then the gameplay, it's the gameplay where I'm struggling. It's not that it's bad. I just feel like there's so many others, XCOM in particular, have done this so well that you really need to be at least that standard of quickness, and the turns don't hitch, or when it's your turn, the camera doesn't go somewhere wonky. I mean, some of those things just feel like they're a little off. But it's cool, and I'm going to play it more. It's on Game Pass, so really no harm in trying it. And I tried it on PC, and it ran fine. I don't know. The vibe's right. The story seems good. The voices are good. The whole idea is good. It just felt underbaked a little bit in the gameplay department. So anyway, we shall see how that game goes. Other than that, I played more Assassin's Creed Mirage. I forgot the lady from The Expanse is in it. She's awesome. What's her name? The Avasarala character. I can never remember her real name. It's like Shalabu Shibalaraga Daga.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Amazing long.
You have to look that up.
She's so cool. Yeah. She was in Arcane, that League of Legends show and all that.
Shore Agdashlu.
Something to that effect. But she's got that low smoker, like
Shore.
In the gutter voice. Yeah. It's so cool. She plays a major character, and I've got all hooked on that story now. So that's going well. Contraband Police got a new endless mode. That was that basically 3D Papers, Please game that I talked about months ago.
Oh yeah.
And that's what what I was really waiting for, because I hate some of the parts of that game. I hate, like the driving around parts. I hate them. I just want to take papers, check people's cars for contraband, look in their trunk.
Take papers, please.
I don't want any excitement in my video game. I just want to stand in one place and do paperwork.
That's right. I kind of do. I want to take his baggage out and inspect it. I want to see if something shitty's in his trunk. And then if he's a bad person, I want to arrest him. Like, those are fun things in that game. These endless modes let you play more like that, and it's good. So hats off to those guys for continually supporting that. It's a cool game. And then I played a little Doom 64 because the shooter itch won't leave me alone. Doom 64 might be my favorite Doom old school game, like the original Doom games. It is underrated. Maybe it isn't, maybe it's rated, but
Wait, you're playing
Rated
Doom
M
64?
for blood,
Yeah.
gore, and violence.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
It's on Game Pass. It's also like $5 everywhere. And it running, widescreen 4K at 100.
Didn't you get it for free if you bought Doom Eternal?
Probably.
Because I'm pretty sure I have it. I don't think I ever bought it. I think it came with Doom Eternal.
It might have.
some
It's
reason.
it's part of. Oh gosh, you can get it with that Doom. That open source Doom thing has a way to play it. There's all kinds of ways to play it. But I played the Game Pass version on PC, 4K, 144 hertz. Beautiful, stupid old game. And it's not like there was no mouse look or even stick look for Doom 64 or Doom 1 or Doom 2. So now I'm a little spoiled by Brutal Doom, which I talked about 2 weeks ago, because that has mouse look. It has like reload, things like that. And that spoiled me a little bit. So going back to this was a little bit weird, but once I got into the swing of it, it just has some of the better puzzles, better lighting in that game. It's cool, man. The N64 version of Doom was rad. And it's not just Doom. It's a whole new campaign. It's like a whole different game. So you weren't just replaying all those same levels and stuff. Anyway, that's what I played this week. Lots of fun stuff. John, let's throw it over to you and get caught up on, before we talk about anything else, let's get caught up on WWE 2K23 and Frog Wrestling. What happened?
Frog Wrestling update. Man, it's a crazy time here in Frog Wrestling. John got kicked out of Core.
Oh no.
Yep, you ousted John from Core. I'm now no longer two-thirds of this show are no longer on Core.
Damn.
Thanks to the tyranny of Scott Johnson. But I actually think yesterday's show, I think it might be one of the best ones. Like, it wasn't designed to be a big spotlight, free per-view kind of stream or anything like that. In fact, the same titles that were up for grabs the week before were up this week, but just something about the way the AI came together was really crazy and really good. And this match in particular, the one that you're showing, was a kind of accidental. I messed up how I set up the match. It was an elimination tag, which meant when someone got pinned, they were out. And you ended up in a scenario where it was you, Scott, versus both Tanner and Tom Merritt. And you went on to defeat both of them by yourself.
Why am I so OP? Am I really by the numbers OP? Like, am I tuned
You
high?
are by the numbers OP, but you should be beatable. I've seen you lose.
Yeah.
You got beat up a lot during this match. It can happen, but by the numbers, you are the most powerful person on the roster.
Yeah.
By design.
Yeah.
Like,
that's the whole story. Sure, I get it.
You gotta we want whoever takes that belt off of you. It should feel like an accomplishment. It shouldn't feel like, oh, just changed hands, because that's what belts do. Like, it should feel like a big moment. So that's what it's gonna be when it happens. If and when it happens, I don't know. Maybe I'm done with Frog Wrestling before anyone beats you, but we're telling interesting stories here. It's going to interesting places, and I thought it was a really, really good and fun episode. So,
oh my gosh,
check that out.
I just got sucker punched by, I think that's Tanner.
Yeah, Tanner just sucker punched you. He just comes over and just, launches you.
Bullshit, man. Look at me. What am I just going to go hang out over there again? Oh, Scott, get over there, dude. Get your jorts in the ring. Well, whatever. I win, so it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, you end up pulling off a victory here, so, you got nothing to be ashamed of.
No, except the jorts. I'm very ashamed of the jorts. Other than that.
Jorts are carrying you to a lot of victories, although there was that one time you didn't have them, you still won. So.
No, it's not. So they're not the magic thing we thought. Well, no, that was against Bo, and he couldn't wear his helmet, so maybe they're still magic. We just equal.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried to upgrade Bo's helmet. I was gonna give him a new VR helmet to complement his new purchase.
Yeah.
And then I realized that the VR headset I had given him pretty much looks like the VR headset he bought. There wasn't really a lot to do. So I just changed the look of the face mask on it to be a different face. And Bo lost spectacularly quickly. Bo's on a bit of a slump right now. He's got He fought.
People came into my chat to say, "I'm so ashamed of you."
It was a bad loss. Like you fought Mark Spagnolo, and he just rushed you, and
Wow.
it was shocking because Mark has not won a lot of matches. Just to be clear, like Mark has been he's been kind of on the mid card. Like he
So you're
shows up in
saying
matches, he rarely wins.
I lost to one of the worst wrestlers, making me the absolute pits of the entire.
Kinda.
I mean, you've got a mountain to climb. So did Mark, and he's doing it. You climbed to the top. Scott knocked you down. Now you got to find a way back up.
Did Mark have wood?
How long was the match? I couldn't watch. They told me about it. I was
the
like,
full question. How long was the match? It was not very long. It was like 4 minutes. It was very short.
But
4 minutes.
I feel like your entrances were longer than
than the
match
fight
itself.
Oh, that's no good. So wait, did Mark have a wooden weapon or tool or anything to make him the wood whisperer or any of that?
No, he just had his fists.
All right.
Mark looks shockingly jacked in this game. I mean, that was part of the goal.
Yeah.
The idea was like, take woodworking and amplify it. So he's a lumberjack in Frog Wrestling.
Oh wow.
So I wanted him to be ripped. I wanted him to be like, friggin' Paul Bunyan coming to the ring. But every time he comes to the ring, I'm like, my God, Mark is like looks like he's ready to just tear the ring in half.
That's great.
And man, now he's backing it up. So it was great. There were fantastic matches across the board. I lost again.
Can I just say, Tom's pants, the tassels on his pants, these are amazing, dude. Freaking.
Yeah, Tom's got great pants. He's got good style.
Yeah, he's the most styling of your wrestlers, I believe, of the whole roster. I am the opposite of styling, but the top of winning. So take that, everybody.
Yep.
My sweaty jorts.
So yeah, Frog Wrestling. Check it out.
Check it out.
It's great.
Craftless Rogue, YouTube and Twitch. If you want to watch the live show on Wednesday on Twitch, and then he'll put them up on YouTube after. Watch for that. Yep. What else did you play this week?
I sort of played a new game called Wizard with a Gun. And I think that I'm going to like this game maybe. I was kind of hoping that this would be a palate cleanser-esque game. I bought it because Devolver Digital, we've talked about it. Most of the games they publish are winners. It was getting good reviews. I think it had an art style that I think it looks really, really good. So I was 100% on board with all of it. And I was having a really bad day yesterday when I was trying to play it. My head was in a million different other places. And it got to the survival aspects of the game because it's like one part like almost like Hades or Bastion in like the style of game. But it also has a survival element where you're picking up like materials and crafting things.
Reminds me of Don't Starve or something is the vibe I'm getting by looking at this.
Yeah. During the like fighting and dodging and, the tutorial on how to break things and move things, I was kind of all for that. And as soon as the game wanted me to construct something, it just didn't gel with the mood I was in, and I couldn't bring myself to keep going.
You have to be in the right mood for that. I get that. Yeah. Totally get that.
So I ended up stopping still in the tutorial, so I can't really say too much good or bad about it because I didn't make it out of the tutorial. But I am gonna play it. Like I think the game looks incredible. From what I played, the controls are very tight. And it looks like it's probably going to be fun. I think in my head, I was looking for an experience that I was going to be able to more just like pick up and start playing. And I wasn't really ready to invest a lot of time tutorializing myself. Would have been like a good situation to play like a Mario game or something instead. It's that kind of world where you just pick it up and play it, right? Because you've played it 100 times and you know how it's supposed to work.
Sure.
This wasn't that. So... but it seems cool. Like I said, I really, really like the art style to this game. I think it looks good. You get to create your own little wizard with a gun. You get to pick your hat and your clothes and your eye color and all of that. And I don't know, there's something cool about a wizard running around with a gun, I guess. Although I haven't done anything magical, so I don't know what makes me a wizard. I've shot a gun. The gun was made out of wood. I guess that's kind of a magic trick.
That's kind of magical, sure. Yeah. Only prisoners do that kind of thing. They make guns out of like toothpaste tubes or something. I don't know what they
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a very heavy survival game.
do. Yeah.
It seems like it's kind of light on that. But yeah, I just wasn't ready. Wasn't ready to be picking up wood.
I get you.
So
It's like how do I put this? There's something about just telling me the name of this is Wizard with a Gun that already makes me interested, and that's kind of Devolver's thing. Sometimes their games are named things that are enough for me to go, ooh, okay, tell me more, because I've never seen a wizard with a gun before, you know.
yeah.
So you kind of had me at that. I didn't know about is there tower defense shit in it? Because I don't want that.
Not that I've seen, but you know, I haven't gotten past the tutorial, so
I hope not.
I don't know. But I haven't had to defend a single tower yet.
All right. Well, I'm not that I do hate tower defense. So if there's towers, I might bail, but this looks interesting to me. JD Wilson in the chat says no tower defense. I assume he's playing it.
There you go. I will talk about it more as I play more. I'm definitely going to give it a better shakedown. It just was yesterday was the day that I set aside to play things that weren't Cyberpunk, so I could talk about a different game for once.
Yeah.
And stuff outside of my control happened, and I couldn't focus, and I couldn't get through anything. So
I get you.
No additional gameplay happened.
Now, my favorite thing of the day is in John's notes earlier today. It said Marvel's Spider-Man 2 in bold, and I went, "Wow, how did he?" Well, I don't know how he got a hold of that earlier. How's he had time to? Wow, I can't wait to hear what John says. But then I noticed before the show, maybe an hour before the show, that field was gray, which means someone's editing it. And it just sat there still saying Marvel Spider-Man 2. I'm like, well, whatever he's writing, can't wait to hear about it. What he ended up writing isn't out yet, and I tried to play Miles Morales instead. That's an amazing thing that happened today. I loved watching that whole story unfold in my own head.
I was not intending to be as excited for it as I was, because I didn't think I was excited. I love Spider-Man. I think these games are great. But it was kind of cool on it. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to even play it. I'll play it one day, I'm sure.
We're a little open worlded out a little bit, don't you think? Like we're just
definitely that. Definitely kind of sick of open world games.
Yeah.
And so I just didn't think I had the hype for it. And then everybody kept saying, it's coming out tomorrow. It's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I went, all right, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
So I bought it.
The hype got you.
But I didn't realize that tomorrow didn't mean midnight. And it also apparently didn't mean like early in the morning. It meant like sometime today. It might be out now. I don't remember. But I loaded it up earlier today and it was like, comes out in 8 hours. Yeah. So I put it on there because I had every intention of playing the game. And I was like, yeah, when the baby takes a nap, I'm going to have a little window to work on some show notes and play some Spider-Man 2. So I wrote it in the show notes because I did the show notes before I played the game, because that's what responsible people do. Mm-hmm. And then I went, all right, Marvel Spider-Man 2. I loaded up the PS5, did my update, and then went, oh, shit, it's not out. So then I went back to the show notes and went, well, what am I going to do? I had installed Miles Morales because I hadn't beaten it. And I was like, maybe, I don't know why I thought I was going to get through all of Miles Morales during a baby nap, but somewhere in my brain that made sense. And I loaded it up, and for whatever reason, I couldn't get it to run well on my PC, which is weird, because I played it when it first came out and it ran just fine.
Yeah, the PC version is supposed to be very good. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, I couldn't. It kept slowing down and having issues like crazy. I don't know what changed, because I had 0 issues when I played it the first time and got far. I just started over because I don't remember how to play the game. Although I do want to give a quick shout out to the Spider-Man games. This is true not just of the first game or Miles Morales, which is the game that made me realize it. I'm sure it is going to be true for the sequel. I am astonished at how intelligently they have mapped the controls for Spider-Man. I haven't played this game in like months, and I picked it up and could immediately swing around like a pro.
Yeah, That's good. Those
Like,
games are great at that. I agree.
It's so intuitive.
Yeah.
Like, it's really shocking at how well the Spider-Man games play. And so, yeah, I'm really looking forward to Spider-Man 2. I'm going to play it. I'm not going to have beaten Miles Morales. I might just have to look up like what happened.
I also own Miles
So I'm
Morales, and
caught
I
up.
hate that I haven't played it because I probably will play this before I'll play that, and then what? Like, am I ever going to go back to it? I probably spent $40 on nothing. You know,
It's awesome too. Like, that's the thing that bugs me, is because Miles Morales is great and it's super my jam because it takes place during winter. So you've got snowy New York, which I love as a setting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you've somehow found in a New York City based game the most deserty looking thing I've ever seen to show of gameplay for this game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh great, Scott found the desert. But
It's some kind
like,
of
the cool thing
sand. It's like construction area or something. I think they got going here. Or no, it's a Sandman fight. I think is the deal.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, because look at their piles everywhere, all through the
There's
city.
gotta be, right?
Yeah.
Like, why else would there be sand? But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna play it. I'll talk about it when I've actually played it. But it was my intention to play it. I think it comes out tonight.
Have heard some really cool things about load times and saw some video. You can fast travel to any fast travel point in New York with no perceivable load. It just goes. It feels like magic watching it. I'd love to see it when you actually play it, but you'll pick a zone and you'll go there. And normally there's a bunch of either hidden screen or hidden load time or some kind of load time. But in this thing, none. Like, they really take advantage of that.
Maybe
hard drive
whoever
tech.
designed this should be the ones that have lunch with Todd Howard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Todd Howard could learn a lot from these load times. I think. Anyway, it looks good. This is just I'm having a hard time deciding if I want to get into another big world of checking everything off again this soon. And that's why Mario may be in my future, and that might be good because you'll play this, I'll play Mario.
Yeah,
Seems like you should play both.
Yeah, and Bo will
but
have porn
I do
and
think
VR.
that Scott should play both.
Oh, okay.
100%.
I can do that. So Bo,
I don't want to have to find my Switch.
Bo
Otherwise,
does
I would
Bo
be
does
willing
two,
to do
Bo
it.
does 180-degree porn. I do Wonder. You do the Spider-Mans.
Yeah, and I'll do them both.
Complete full gamut of content next week. All good. Quest 3 porn, Spider-Man, Mario. Done. Bo's just
And
taking
we're going to
this.
talk about 2 movies as well.
Oh
so
yeah,
there
we're
you
going to try
go.
to get that in.
Well, we're planning next week's show now, so I have to watch some porn.
We're gonna
You
we're
don't
gonna
have to do
plan
anything.
next week's show on this week's show. It's a new thing we do.
You don't have to do anything. I'm just teasing you. But if
Okay.
but I,
If you want to
well,
watch porn, it's fine.
I mean, you do what you want. I don't want to tell anyone what to do. All right. If 180-degree porn is in your future, let it happen.
Okay.
Speaking of which, Bo, more Darktide. How's that going?
Yep. So, unlike you two, I dropped Cyberpunk. Not intentionally. Just Darktide was more fun.
I installed it, by the way. I just didn't play it yet, but I
Oh,
installed it.
nice. Well, we'll have to
Yeah.
figure things out because I'm around to play games on a more flexible schedule. So you never know.
Oh my gosh, Twitch is showing
But,
me a chicken sandwich commercial. Hold on. Go ahead, continue.
Okay, but I really like this update. I'm not going to say a lot because I already talked about it a lot last week. But the game's, I was addicted to this game, and the only reason why I stopped was I started playing Diablo. But this was, yeah, it's just fun. I just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we clicked a link to the game. Oh my god, by the time I'm done speaking, you'll still be in commercials.
I'll still get this commercial for the Marvels, the movie
Yep,
tracking
chicken
to be.
sandwich and the Marvels. Come to Bo's stream. You can learn all. You should just sub to Bo. Why haven't you subbed to
I
Bo?
have ads turned
you-
off. I don't
if
know
you
why it's
sub
showing
to
you
him,
ads.
Scott, you wouldn't have this problem.
That's right. I should probably do
I have
that.
manual ad running turned on. I don't know why it's doing that to you. But
There we go.
whatever.
I got it now.
But
Yeah.
the game is fun. It's the classes are interesting and the challenge is great. And I like playing with the revolver. It's fun. Does
Have
a lot
you
of
run
damage.
with Senator Fetterman since you saw him last? Is that,
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I mean, I don't have a lot new to say other than I just spent a lot of time playing it. So it's good stuff.
Nothing wrong
and
with
I
that.
like this game.
All right. Yeah, I installed it with
the highlight of my week by any
I had
stretch.
had intentions to play it and installed it and everything, and I just never got around to it. So I'm hoping to do that soon.
It's a good time. So that's got a space on my hard disk. But the big thing this week is, well, I bought one of these.
Look at this. Do I have music for this? Hold on, I might have some music.
The Quest. Oh,
hold on. I'm going to see if I have any. Here you go. Here's your intro for that. Okay, here we go.
Wow.
And look, I'm taking my headphones off for a second. Just bear with me here.
Yeah.
But I picked up the Elite strap on your recommendation this go around.
So much better.
And holy crap, is it way better?
Yeah.
Now you might be saying, Bo, how can I see me? Well, this has pass through, unlike the Quest 2, which means I can see you just fine.
And good pass through too, right?
Like
clear pass.
Okay, so let's talk about let's talk about pass through. So AR is a big thing in this. This has full color visuals, unlike the black and white Quest, which means all these little cameras you're seeing, and there's even little cameras in these little holes here. It picks up everything with depth. It's a little distorted, and I don't know why it does the distortion thing, like little heat distortion sometimes where your hand goes. But I just want to give you a little taste of what I'm seeing.
All right.
So if you just bear with me a quick second.
Yeah, we're bearing.
While I speak.
We're bearing with you. Yeah. You're good.
Oh yeah, I gotta go to record. But
there's some ambient sound we can play behind.
Well, no. Okay, so okay, there we go. Camera, cast, perfect. Computer next. All right.
So see ourselves in virtual reality.
Yeah, I'm excited about this.
So what's really interesting is that it's pretty much unlike the Quest 2. It's actually really good. It's actually a really good time to see people. Like you can have conversations about it. So I'm gonna show you just one more step here. You should be seeing my desktop.
Yep.
So you can see.
Here we go.
Whoa! Look at us.
Yeah.
It's us in 3D.
So you can also see I've got.
Oh, not anymore.
It's in color, but you can see that I can place this window up here, right? And I got my hands. I don't know how well you're seeing that on your screen.
I see it great.
Right?
The hand tracking is a billion times better. All the videos
Yeah,
I've seen.
you can actually do it, I think, with just the hand. I think these are still activated, but it also does gestures.
Yeah, I think it has to. The controllers have to.
Yeah, they have to be shut off. Oh, I turned it off so that it wouldn't get confusing. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to use the controllers, but I can grab the screens here, move them over, and just run any of the apps and stuff. Oh, and this is the thing I wanted to show you. This is what makes it so fancy. See this? Oh, I'm even going to do it with my hand free. Check this out.
Okay. For those at home listening, Bo's virtual space. Look at this desert, John.
So I double tap the side of my headset, and I Star Wars beam into the virtual background,
Nice.
and then I double tap again. And
Oh, that's cool.
And I just tap the side of the headset, and okay, it's a little tricky, I find, but there we go.
That's cool.
I'm back in there looking around. Look, there's a reason to look up. I'm looking up.
Oh yeah, there's yes.
And there's my dirty
He's
ceiling.
looking up.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
But it's really quick to jump in and out. If someone's talking with you, you just tap, and then boom, you're there. And there's new apps to be had. I don't have them yet, but the store. I just want to show you. I just wanted to mainly show you that, Scott, and not everything here.
Right.
But
No,
there
looks,
are
so
a
far
ton of
this
new
is rad.
games coming up on the store. Seventh Guest, which I'm really excited for, as well as that Assassin's Creed Nexus game looks awesome.
Yeah, that looks real good.
Yeah, so that's why I say November 16th. Attack on Titan VR is interesting to me. There's Power Wash Simulator coming.
Oh,
which I may finally get into Power Wash Simulator.
If they don't, I know what I have to do. I have to get this
a
headset.
Vampire the Masquerade game
You
coming.
just sold Scott. You just sold him on the grounds of him getting to wash things in virtual
You have
reality.
no
we can play
idea.
together because it's multiplayer.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
it's got
sure, too.
co-op, dude. That's seriously tempting. I didn't know they were making a version for VR. Holy shit. All right.
Oops.
I'm
But anyway,
unreasonably
so-
excited about that. That's
So
stupid.
the pass-through AR, the camera quality's still pretty, crappy. You're seeing sights few have seen about the inside of my living room here. Yeah. It works really great. It's nice and transparent. It's awesome. And I think there's AR games I could even play, but I haven't even checked them out yet.
Yeah, there's
you
some
know what I
really
mean?
cool
So-
rhythm games. They're almost like Rock Band or something. but you're just doing it with shapes coming toward you on a piano. Like if you had a piano or a keyboard, it just maps to it. And
oh, there is I bought Piano Vision,
yeah,
which basically you can put a piano, like it will display a piano on the table, or you can get a real piano and it'll overlay the keys on the piano.
yeah,
And I might learn piano in the headset, which is kind of one of the things I might do in my time to start playing piano.
that's cool. That's cool.
Which is cool. And the best thing is, so price wise, it's more expensive this go around,
right,
but definitely worth it, I would say. I'm going to take the headset off so I can think more clearly.
sure.
But I want to say I did do some extra purchases. I bought a charging station, life changer. It was kind of annoying charging the Quest 2, trying to find a plug, moving around all the time. Just having a docking station for it, it's money.
Is that
It
Qi charging? Like you just wirelessly charge the headset?
Yeah, you just rest it on the dock. Like I'm going to take my headset off here, and
I didn't know it supported that. That's awesome.
In a second.
Yeah.
But it's just like hanging up a hat or something like that. Like it's pretty easy.
And the controllers are no longer AA controllers.
They're AA controllers, but I got rechargeable batteries, so they sit in the docking station too, and they just charge in the docking station.
That's great.
I love this docking station. So it's always ready, fully charged on battery. So I didn't get instead of getting the big boy 512 gig, I got the smaller one and splurged on accessories. I also got the Elite strap, and you were right. That's a game changer too.
Oh yeah, even for the 2,
like
it was
it's
night and day.
having it sit nestled on the back of your head, like it sort of grabs the back of your head and it doesn't slide anywhere. I think the only reason it doesn't come default with the headset is just to keep the price point down, because it's basically essential. Like it makes the default headset like crap. So I'm stoked, man. A lot of games coming up. I haven't really done much with it, but I know a lot of people who might think about buying a headset. What I wanted to help answer for them is it worth it? And the answer is, if you can afford it, yes. So it's more powerful, does cooler shit. The games aren't quite there yet, but it's just better. Just overall, the experience, it's lighter too. It weighs nothing on the face, like compared to the Quest 2 even. It's like half the weight, I think. Probably not technically, but it weighs less. It's crisper. Oh, and the lenses are huge. So the great thing about the Quest 2 is the quality is great, but it still has a vignette. Like you feel like you're in a tunnel. You get used to it, but when you look up, speaking of looking up again, you got to tilt your head up. You can't periphery look up.
Right.
With the wider lens surface area, it's like it's even more like you're immersed in the world, because you're not seeing blacks around the side of your periphery vision. You got more clear room. So Quest 3, fantastic, worthwhile upgrade. Probably a great price point considering all these are sold at a loss. If you don't have the income, like the money for it, like I get it. Like maybe don't buy it, buy some other shit. But if you are into VR, it's like a worthwhile buy.
Nice.
100p.
I'm excited.
So yeah.
10 on 10, as Bo would say. Right?
Yeah, it's a 10 on 10. But the game, new games aren't there yet. I'm excited to try new things. I know people might suggest, try this game, try that game. I'm like, they pretty much look the same. Like if you played it in Quest 2, Quest 3, the graphics don't get better. Like they're the games.
Yeah, newer games will, but these others, like the ones, but your catalog does move forward though. Anything you bought on their store, right?
Yeah, they're backward compatible completely. Like so, there isn't anything that won't run. It's just it's like I was watching some Amaze VR concerts, and I'm like, well, I have greater peripheral range, but the content's still the same content, right? So I'm like, okay, well, whatever.
Durog in the chat says, "Does it suck less with glasses on?" The reviews I've read said there's way more room in there for glasses than because it's more adjustable. Is that true?
Personally, it feels better. I lucked out. My glasses, they're thick frame, so they wedge in real nice. But my mom, she tried it out, and she has like pointy tips on the side of her glasses, and that was awkward for her. So that varies depending on the kind of glasses you wear. I think if you have wireframes, they might jostle around a lot inside. But I just seem to have lucked out in that lottery. It fits kind of perfectly.
Well, you had me at your mom has pointy tips. So thank you for that.
Well, great.
It's really the only answer you could give me. I think that's perfect.
Yeah, no, it's great. No, it's hilarious.
Sure.
There is a Who's someone in chat room? Dungeons of Eternity. Yeah, I know. I do want to check that out. There is a co-op dungeon crawler that just came out that's getting a lot of hype too, called Dungeons of Eternity. Yeah, it's on. I'm interested in it, but it looks like a multiplayer thing, and like I have a hell of a hard time getting these multiplayer games going. So it wasn't an instant buy for me.
Let's see. Oh yeah, I had also heard of this $30 game. Supports the Quest 2 and up. So 2 Pro and the 3.
Yeah. Highly rated. It's supposed to be pretty fun. I think it plays like that Dark and Darker game where you and a couple buddies run through a dungeon and have a good time.
Yeah. I'm interested in that. That sounds great.
So I may pick that up, but I just didn't pull the trigger on it because I am budgeting.
Yeah, of course.
And like
you just splurged too, so
I just dropped $1,000 Canadian on all this shit. So I was like, I'm not buying things on a lark. Asgard's Wrath is not out yet, and I'm already spoken for in a few games. Bulletstorm and Assassin's Creed Nexus being the most exciting, and I'm probably buying Power Wash Simulator 2. That's already $120 or something like that. So I didn't just pop off and buy Dungeons of Eternity.
Yeah.
It's great. We'll talk about it more in the weeks to come as I play those games. But just to answer your question, like it's reviewed well. But if you wanted to know, like going from 2 to 3, like if you liked the 2 and want a better headset, absolutely, it's worth it. It's great.
Significant increase in all the things you like for
quality of life, mostly. I think like the screen will feel the same, except for the wider. But it's all the mechanics: the wider lenses, the lighter frame. And the controllers also don't have circles on them. They're just...
Oh, right. They're just little paddles.
Like little serving trays. Would you like some cheddar cheese? It's like a little serving tray.
Yeah.
Okay, I know. Maybe.
Sure. No, I can see it.
Sure, why not? But it's... Yeah, it's great. I like it.
Awesome.
That's it.
You also dove into Diablo 4 Season 2, which you're the first of the three of us to do. I meant to and didn't. So what do you think? What do you like?
Well, there's a lot of fireside chats that we talked about, and the quality of life stuff is all great, and it's all in the game now. Resistances make sense. The item stuff is still good. You still get lots of them. The game's pretty... A lot of people ask me how's Season 2, like because I stream most of my playtime. And I'm like, it's still just Diablo 4. Like, if you remember playing Diablo 4 in the spring, it feels like playing Diablo 4. And people landed in a lot of places on that. I don't think all the quality of life stuff is good, but it doesn't exactly... I'm not playing it going like, wow, these quality of life changes. Like, they're hardly noticeable. They're just stuff that maybe just should have worked that way from the beginning. When you get into the more like nuanced conversations about itemization, if you play that deeply, you'll notice that stuff a little more. But the leveling's fast. I've played 2 days, like maybe like 20 hours or so, and I'm already at level 60. So
that is fast. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, and that a lot of that is not only just like the speed up in XP, but also I'm more familiar with the game, so I'm spending less time mulling over items. But also, vampiric powers are super strong. Like you have the base game plus an extra layer of game.
The season power, right.
Yeah, the Season of Blood. So it's all about vampires. So it's pretty like I don't know. It's pretty. It's Diablo 4. It feels the same, and like I thought it was really good. I gave it, a 10 instead of perfect. But definitely room to grow in things. I don't think anything changed super significantly, but it's still just a lot of fun. I'm not racing, so it's just more enjoyable. I'm not falling asleep while playing,
right?
And I think the new season mechanics are good. So you see even on the screen there, I'm fighting Bloodseekers. So you will go into these zones to fight vampires, and these really tough ones will hunt you that do more damage and can stun you and stuff. So there's new bosses in the game. I fought Lord Zir. It's an interesting boss fight. For the most part, I've just been doing the event zones and the event quest line to get me here, and some side dungeons, but most of the content has been new content because the leveling's faster. So I hit up whatever the blood harvest zone is, and when I have an MSQ on the season pass, I do it.
Yeah.
The MSQ on the season pass is only going to take you about level 30 or 40. It doesn't last very long. It's the first 3 chapters of the season journey. But what is there is interesting. But, you know, the levels come fast, and it hasn't really been a slog. So, you know, if I'm playing, let's say today's day 3 of me playing, and I'm at level 60, if I spend a couple more days playing, get this character to level 100, I'm playing on hardcore, so it could all be over anytime.
Oh, this is a hardcore character. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm playing on hardcore. You know, if I die or if I get to 100 and I'm sort of done, then I'll just play something else. Like, I don't really feel like I'm playing this game for the next 4 months. I feel like I hop into a season. I'm having a few days of enjoyment, and it's nice. The game plays snappy and good, and it's fun.
Can you tell me the dungeons you mentioned? You run a couple of them. One of the things that we had talked about that we were looking forward to. I think I think maybe John was the one talking about it, but they were going to randomize dungeons and have more variety and stuff. Did you get a sense for that?
Yeah, the playlist definitely feels different. I'm doing a lot of dungeons I didn't do back in the spring for Nightmare Dungeons.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like I barely did any main content. Like no, I skipped the campaign. And I think I did a handful of dungeons leveling before I got to 50.
Yeah.
Once you get to 50, it becomes a little bit more of a choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
You know, I can do a Helltide, I can do a dungeon. There are optional bosses. I'm still getting the lay of the land and leveling faster than I can get the lay of the land, which is kind of fine. But it's just kind of fun. Like I'm already at 60. I'm just like, I feel like I played. Getting to 60, I think, took me like 5 days or 6 days of playing nonstop during the launch period. And I actually feel like I'm really fired. I've been playing, while what some would say a lot, it's still pretty casually compared to that, like maybe 10 hours a day from, you know, now that I'm off work, I'm spending my time fruitfully playing Diablo.
Wow. I didn't see that coming. But so you never did play the campaign? Or you did?
I did, yeah. When I finished,
okay.
when we did the statue thing, I did go through with the rogue. The rogue died at level 89, so it's in my Hall of Shame.
Yeah,
but
oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's why I'm playing a rogue again, because I'm like, well, now I got to get it to 100, and I lost the first one.
This rogue seems
enough
good.
time's gone by. I played all of Baldur's Gate, played vanilla Cyberpunk, and what else did I do? Maybe there were some other games in the middle of all that. I don't even remember them.
Yeah.
But
can't remember either.
Yeah, I don't feel like, oh, I'm going to be playing Diablo for the next 8 months or something like that. I'm like, give this a week, you know, and it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
And, you know.
What world tier are you playing on?
Right now, that one's probably world tier 1.
Okay.
Because
it's hardcore. You don't want to die. You want to live.
I played with Shinobi, so we were actually at a party, and he was at 43. Oh, no, this is world tier 3.
Oh, is it?
This is world tier 3. Yeah, we did the Keystone. He was there early. So we're playing on World Tier 3 between 50 and 70. And then at 70, you play at World Tier 4. But I mean, I'm not racing either. So, like,
right.
Like, it's just casual. It's just like, I don't know, whatever. Like, I just do whatever what feels fun, you know, what feels safe as well. It's hardcore.
Low stakes on the hardcore. If you died, it's like, oh, okay, I'll wait for another season.
Well, you can make the stakes lower if you play easy modes, right?
Yeah.
When you're racing, you have to push your threshold to points of uncomfortableness.
Yeah.
But like here, it's like, who am I racing? Like, who cares? I could just do most the easiest content in existence, and it's fine. You know, who cares?
All right, Diablo's still a threat. Then
those blood seekers, man. Oh, they're tough. When you get a triple blood seeker, it's bad.
Yeah. Well, they're seeking blood. You can't take them lightly, I would say.
So I think by this point I have an ability that stuns them, but if they're not stunned, they're on your ass like bacon on a hamburger.
Yeah. All right. I don't want to.
I never want hamburger's good. That's a fine.
Yeah, so I mean, they're together. They're like
Wendy's has made a living off bacon on a hamburger.
They have improved things at Wendy's. I don't know if you've noticed lately, but they're better than they used to be. I don't know what happened, but
I think Wendy's is fine.
Yeah, they had a real dip for a while though. It was kind of rough, but then the ghost of Dave Thomas, rose from the earth and fixed it all.
I'm just saying, it goes well together.
Yeah, you're not
naturally together. Yeah.
Let's dive. What else did you
Diablo
do?
4's fun.
Heroes of the Storm is what this says. Is that true?
Yeah, so it was unexpected, but I was streaming and I didn't know what to play, and then I decided I'll play a game of Heroes, and then a bunch of people in the chat wanted to play, so we played in a group, and I only meant to play for like a couple 2 games, but I ended up playing for 5 hours, and it was a good time. Just like to remind everyone that game is fantastic and fun, and I miss the glory days of Heroes immensely.
Heroes was awesome. I'm telling you, I really feel strongly about this. If this thing gets on Steam and Game Pass for that matter, both, I think it has a real chance for a resurgence that just isn't going to happen on Battle.net.
Just I'd like to see some little content pipeline, a little something.
Well, imagine if it took off and went crazy on Steam, like started generating people buying skins and all that shit. I mean, then they would have to. They would need to.
You know what
I would
ripe
give
for?
a positive review to Heroes of the Storm on Steam.
I would
for
too.
The record.
I would too.
You know what it's ripe for, since if it is like in that deprecated phase of Blizzard game life, is just get a level editor out here. Let people mod stuff. Like, give it to you're done with it. You're not making money off of it. Like, whatever. Like, let's get a map editor and
yeah. If you're not going to have people actively working on it, let us work on it.
Exactly. Mods or something, or there's potential there. Even if you could. Yeah. Anyways, the game is a lot of fun. I enjoyed playing it, and it's fun with friends.
Did you wreck fools? Did you beat people? Did you?
We ended up losing a lot of games, but it was with a lot of people I hadn't played before. We started winning once Monica came back. So Monica's pretty good at.
Oh, she is good at this game.
Plays.
Yeah.
But it was all for fun. Like as you play with strangers, people have to learn how to chain their abilities together positively. So when you do play as a 5-stack against another 5-stack who knows how to do that, you will lose.
Yeah. I was watching the old video.
There's no hard carrying like in League of Legends.
I was going through old BlizzCon videos, and I found the announcement in 2014, I think it was, for this game.
Yeah.
And maybe it was 13. I can't remember, but I was there. But that's a fun video to go watch because you hear the crowd freak out. People were so
crowd reaction
excited.
to that cinematic was huge.
Yeah, people lost their minds.
Huge.
I lost my mind. I was so excited. And then I played with Patrick later, and it was a bad experience with Patrick, but it's still fun to see the game.
Did he say that he really, really likes Lily?
Yeah, he liked Lily, really, really. And then that guy, he had a 3-hour flight, and he took his Switch, his ROG Ally, and his Steam Deck on the flight.
Oh my God!
I'm like, Patrick, 3-hour flight. What are you gonna do?
One for each hour.
I guess so.
I feel like in 3 hours I would have decided what to play.
Yeah. It'd take me that long. In fact, he probably just watched a movie instead, but he's a psycho. Yeah. Anyway, that's great. Heroes of the Storm, still fun.
Heroes of the Storm is great, and you often forget too that it creates a lot of anxiety in people that are new to the game.
Yeah.
Like out of all like the esporty type games, I find like I get into a new shooter and I'm okay. There's nerves, but like MOBAs, man, I get like nerves too, even playing new MOBAs, because you don't know anything and you know you're going to hear about it.
It's intense. Yeah.
And you're so going to get owned.
Watching this video, it made me miss healing, because I don't like healing in almost any other game, but I loved healing in that game. So much fun. Yeah. All the healers were fun, and I miss that. Who do I miss the most? I miss who's the Russian StarCraft guy that I loved? Stukov, dude.
Stukov. Big Fisty.
Love Big Fisty so much. That big dumb fist. So good.
I also think that will be the best Dearest Martha I've ever done, was the Stukov.
Really?
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite drawings I ever did, where I dressed him up like Mario, and he had a big pipe for an arm. And it would have been a perfect skin. They never were going to do it, but if Nintendo was more amenable to such things, we could have gotten a Mario skin.
Oh, maybe within a Microsoft world,
yeah,
things could happen. I mean, do you think they're going to put Master Chief in Heroes of the Storm?
If Heroes of the Storm took off, why not? If Heroes of the Storm was like a massive like money machine, why not? Why wouldn't?
I mean, we've got Inarius and Lilith in Call of Duty now.
Yeah, that looks so dumb looking. I'm sure it's fun, but watching Lilith run through the fields with a freaking M4 rifle like some kind of a Marine is about the dumbest thing I've seen all week, but here we are. It's fine. I mean, this is not a complaint, by the way. I think that's cool. Diablo characters in that game, but just watch her running across the field with her big dumb horns and a freaking machine gun like some kind of soldier. It's the dumbest thing.
They didn't put them in uniform. You know, they could have.
It could have been worse.
Oh man, that
Earthified
actually
them.
would have been funny. Like, it's their like horned head, but like she's just wearing a military outfit.
Yeah.
That'd be incredible.
And I guess Skeletor's coming.
You know what? Honestly, it makes me more interested in Call of Duty. Like, it does it because I find the idea of playing like just army dudes shooting each other incredibly dull. Like, sure, dress it up like that.
But at that point, you're basically playing Overwatch, right?
Well,
Like,
or
that's
you're playing,
true.
You're playing,
but I mean, like, I'm not. Look, when I say it makes me more interested, that's not turning it into
Look,
I'm
I
gonna
get
go
it.
play it. But
I know what you mean.
More compelling
I know what you
than
mean because I had
military
that
people.
experience today too. When I saw an article, I didn't include it in the news because I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. Maybe in the news, but Overwatch is adding like a K-pop crossover. And I was like,
Oh, I did see that too. Yeah,
I was like, oh,
Overwatch.
the Seraphim. I know who them are, but it wasn't like it wasn't one of my favorites. But I was like, man, if they would have gotten one of my favorites in there, I'd have been like, I think I could play some Overwatch. Overwatch.
I mean,
2,
like,
that is.
Fortnite gets me every now and then. I saw that they're gonna add a Michael Myers skin to Fortnite, and I was like, I should get that one. I was like, I'm not playing Fortnite right now. Why am I thinking this way?
why are you even thinking that?
I almost bought. I said before that this season Battle Pass on Fortnite is maybe one of the worst ones I've ever seen. Which is 100% an old person on the internet take because a lot of it has to do with not liking the memes that they're leaning into.
Oh.
But I almost bought it because you could get Ahsoka Tano.
Oh wow.
If you had it. And I was like, oh, but I should get Ahsoka. And then I was like, what am I doing? Why am I gonna buy a whole battle pass for this? What am I doing? No, I'm not doing it.
It'll cost you
But
$34.
I played a match of Fortnite today.
You
I'll
did?
say
Okay.
that. I did.
Nothing wrong with that.
One match. I got 30th.
Yeah.
Not bad for haven't played for months and months.
What is this about memes? It's called Last Resort. Is that what you're thinking of?
I don't know. Is it?
Oh, like one of the big skins for the new season is I don't know if he's a TikTok guy or a YouTuber, but his whole thing is like he watches other people's TikToks where they make something really complicated and then he does it really simply and just goes
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
and like that's his.
I think
that's
I've
his
seen his
shtick,
stuff.
and it's legitimately funny. I don't know his name. Like I've seen videos
Nolan
because my
Chan.
wife really likes him,
Yeah.
and she's
Okay.
like, why are you so mad about that? I was like, I don't get it. I'm old and I don't understand. And she goes, he's great. And I was like, well, I don't know who he is. So she showed me some of the videos, and they are really good, but like that's internet memery that I'm not plugged into. So
Yeah,
I
it's
look
kind
at,
of a
I
travesty.
look at that
This
and
whole-
go, it's nothing I'm interested in.
Yeah.
This whole battle pass is like TikTok losers and then Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
weird.
and the Ahsoka one was even separate. Like, it wasn't even part of the actual battle pass. It was like you have to get the battle pass, and it's got all its things in it, and then we'll put Ahsoka in the game later, which is the same thing they did with Geralt when they put him in the game. So, that's what
I
it
got a
is.
funny story for you guys. Oh, and if you want to get Lilith in Overwatch, the Moira skin looks amazing as Lilith. It's really good, but you got to pay for that $40 freaking skin pack. To get it.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a lot, but it looks.
Oh, I have a
great.
confession.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. Go.
In Diablo, I did buy Battle Pass, which is not.
Oh
that's
no,
not
that's
That's
no,
fine.
that's not the
know.
confession. That's
Oh,
not the
shit.
confession.
What'd you do?
But the Rogue has a skin
Oh, no.
that it has particle effects on it, and it made like my elbows and the tips of the bow like sort of be on fire, and it's more flashy than anything.
I thought you were
else. And
talking about your own elbows and your tip.
I had no of the avatar in the game.
Because you
and
said elbows and your
it
bow
was
tip.
it was
and I'm like,
bundled together with an entire outfit, including a helmet that makes you look like you're balding but have fire for hair. But I don't wear the helmet. I basically bought a whole costume just for 2 of the items in the costume because you can't buy them separately.
how much does that
And
run?
it was 2,800 platinum, which I think is about $28.
Damn,
So,
God.
dude.
Oh my
sorry,
gosh.
sorry, patrons.
That's an insane amount of money
Yeah.
for
I know.
something that they said they weren't going to do, which was put the cool stuff on the store.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's really it is technically game breaking because that could have been a cool item in the actual game instead of the finance world, but it did look pretty badass.
See,
I
always
mean,
yeah.
I think it's fine. Well, it's not fine.
It's not fine.
Okay.
It's not fine.
It's not.
okay.
It's not okay.
It's
But
not
like
okay.
they did say, no, the stuff that's in the game is just as cool as the stuff in the store,
Or cooler.
And that
Yeah.
is absolutely bull.
Well, okay, I get what
It
you're
is
saying,
bullshit.
but that is a thing that is normally what's the word? It's a subjective thing, right?
No,
But
it isn't.
No,
If
hold
you
on.
have
No, hold on.
particle effects-
Hold on. Let
if
me
you have
back it up. Let me
particle
finish. Let me
effects
finish.
on
Let me
the
finish.
store one and not in the normal one.
Yeah, but let me
that's
finish. What
a
I'm
lie.
saying is
Okay.
normally that is
Okay.
a subjective thing normally.
Okay.
If there's a
Okay.
little variation, it's subjective. Blizzard effectively lied because objectively that's cooler than the shit in the game.
The shit in the game. None of the armor, as far as I'm aware, have any particle effects.
Yeah.
And I got something with particle effects.
Yeah, that's annoying to me. I don't like that they did
Yeah,
that. I don't
it's
like that they
annoying to
say
me
that
too.
and then do that. That bugs me.
And then I think more subjectively than what you just said, Scott, like
Yeah.
to lean a little further down that road, one of my big things I said is we'll know if you go, oh, it doesn't look like there's very much stuff in the base game, but look at all the stuff in the store.
Yep.
And I feel like we're getting to that point
Mm.
because I feel like I got to the end of Diablo and I filled in like 98% of those armor slots and
Mhm.
went, doesn't feel like a lot of
And do they do
armor.
that in WoW yet or not? Like those sets that you raid for? You just buy them now?
I don't
You
think
just buy-
so.
you just
Well,
buy
I mean,
translogs?
you can technically buy anything in WoW, but
No, I know, but do they have
before
a shop?
before you go down that rabbit hole, technically no, you can't. I don't think you can.
I don't
just,
think
They
so.
don't.
No.
They don't have a store like they do in D4.
Not
'Cause,
legitimately. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the next. That's the next step, right? I don't know. We'll find out. BlizzCon soon.
Yeah, BlizzCon. Oh, funny side story
Hey,
about BlizzCon that has to do with.
we could cover that. Maybe
no, we totally.
guys.
Yeah, we could cover that. But here's the
Oh, you
thing.
want to do live coverage?
Yeah, because
Yes.
they have live video for it. We should.
Like coast like all three of us together.
Yeah, let's
Yes,
do
we
it.
can all do it because you're not
Yes.
working now.
Yeah, let's do it. Doesn't matter what time of day even.
Yes,
Okay,
I'm in.
let me tell you guys a story. Tom Merritt, good friend of the show and friend of all of ours, Tom Merritt, tech news man, Tom Merritt, emails me, says, dude, are you going to BlizzCon? I said, no, we never get press stuff and I can't afford a full-blown trip there right now. And he goes, I think I'm going. And I said, why? And he goes, I just wish there were tickets. I said, I think there are tickets.
There are tickets. They got good news for you.
Yeah.
Great news, Tom.
They're not selling out this year for whatever
There's
reason.
never been a better time to go to BlizzCon.
Yeah. If you're looking for ticket availability, great news, Tom. And so I told him that, and he went and got him. And I said, no, why are you going? Because hardly anyone else in our kind of group is going. And so I was a little worried about what his plans were. It turns out it's because this Cyberpunk band, this girl group from Korea.
Oh
the
yeah,
K-pop
he's
band,
into K-pop.
he
isn't
loves
it? Oh,
K-pop. So him and his wife are going to BlizzCon just to see that performance, which is one song at the end of community night for something with Overwatch. And then
they're
that's
not
it.
doing a whole concert.
I don't think so. I think it's a one-off, like one or two
I can
songs.
see
or
them
something.
doing just a one-off, but it's weird because they usually do have a band. Why not get them to be the band? Like,
Right.
like they do concerts normally. Like, it's
Yeah.
they can do more.
Usually entice them by saying it's a sold out event, but they can't do that this
No,
year.
this
I mean,
year,
I can see that. The ticket prices are crazy. That's probably a good deal to see a song of theirs.
Yeah.
One song, like, yeah, it's probably a good. He's probably doing a smart thing.
yeah,
I'm
and
trying
he's
to
also
say.
said because it's actual BlizzCon tickets, he'll do a little snooping around to get us scoops and stuff if he can.
Because like
so.
I know like the general admission tickets for a few K-pop concerts were like in the thousands here in Canada. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
holy shit!
No,
I'm
this
never
stuff's
seeing
insane.
one of these. Like fuck f that. Like
Yeah, it's a lot.
yeah,
dude.
I like it's nice enough, but no thanks. Like
no
highway robbery.
No, I got other things to pay for. I can't do that. But
Yeah,
yeah, he's really stoked. He's taking his wife. She loves K-pop. Kind of what got him into it. And I just think it's great. He's embracing his inner K-pop fan. He's Mr. Hard News all week, but then Let's go watch some K-pop, and I love it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that about him. That stuff's fun. I
Yeah.
like it too.
He's gonna have a good time.
If
Also,
the mod syndicate and Frog Wrestling ever falls apart, I think Tom Merritt 2.0 is going to be a K-pop.
Wait, yeah, can
guy.
Tom and I join forces? Maybe we start a K-pop
Just
wrestling
K-pop
group.
fans, just two big K-pop fans.
Or a K-pop
man.
wrestling group. We got a lot of color.
What would that even look like? That'd be
Watch
incredible.
some K-pop music videos. Get a sense for how vibrant they like to dye their hair a lot. They don't wear full matching outfits. Everyone has their own personality on display within the group.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's all kinds of tenets. Go do some research. I would gladly join forces with Tom.
I don't want you guys to dress like K-pop stars. I want you to dress like K-pop fans.
Oh, I see.
Well,
I need to see
K-pop
not more
fans are
K-pop.
pretty
I
normal
need
and
to
vanilla. I think it's. I don't think K-pop fans are very interesting unless you're going for a, unless there's like assets you have. I don't know.
Not the 90% K-pop fans, the 10% K-pop fans.
Oh, though that percentage. I know where we're talking. Now I know what part.
I mean, I got a YouTuber you can check out that is a fan. That is, I think he's like a young guy, like he's like 18 or 19. He's got a YouTube account. He really likes Twice. His name is Clasher Tim. I don't know why it got recommended to me, but his videos have like 200 views. Like, it's not a big YouTuber or anything like that. But I was scrolling through his videos, and like his first few videos are of him buying like K-pop CD and opening it and just being like, "Wow, this Twice is the best." It's actually kind of adorable.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's freaking me out a little.
So that should give you some good research material, maybe.
I have a feeling you're right. I think, knowing Tom, knowing you, in general, the things I've seen, I think a lot of K-pop fans it's not like anime fans.
No.
You're not going down a
No.
rabbit hole.
I mean, they're passionate and almost like probably ferocious, irritating, weird, all the, but like there's not like a visual.
Right.
But like an anime fan, you're like, oh, they definitely like look. You just go to YouTube and look up like anime react videos, and you'll get a sense of you can come up with a visual like archetype for what they are. Right?
Sure.
So
we'll get on the ground stuff from him about how that goes. Someone in the chat, Tanner in the chat, says that there are cosmetic sets you can buy in WoW now, but I don't think that's what we were saying. I think we're saying,
I know there were. I meant just like a full-on store, like D4 style. Like here's an like a T, like something equivalent to a T whatever armor set.
Well, there is that, but yeah, they're just not selling tier sets. I don't think. I think all the stuff like tier sets from old dungeons, you still have to go earn them. I think.
But like, I guess you can still get a fancy transmog. I guess is what.
Yeah.
But is it a fancy?
There is fancy transmog that you can just.
That's true.
Buy. Yeah.
As good as.
I wouldn't say in WoW. I wouldn't say in the case of WoW it's as good as, like, WoW's definitely guilty of the cooler mounts are on the store than in the game sometimes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I don't. The biggest problem is I think a lot of WoW armor looks like shit. Like WoW, unfortunately, is at a point here where like WoW transmog is sold heavily on the hat, the shoulders, and the belt. Like,
that's about it.
Most like chest and leg armor in WoW just looks like various paintings of the exact same design.
Yeah.
And I think it's really hard to sell. But I will say, like, maybe the thing that's closest to what you're saying is there have been some unique things that I think got put on the store, if I'm remembering correctly. I'm not as plugged in as I used to be. But,
yeah, I haven't looked in a long time. But
yeah, they've definitely sold sets. I know that.
I am legitimately excited about whatever they announce for the next expansion, though, because this is a Metzen joint, and I just want to know what that is. We'll know in a couple of weeks.
I'm legitimately curious.
Oh yeah, I can tell. The curiosity coming out of you right now, I can say is legit.
No, I'm genuinely. I really want to know. There is nothing that would get me more hyped than getting hyped about WoW. Again, I spent a lot of money on World of Warcraft. They got a lot of cash out of me beyond just my monthly subscription.
Yeah.
That it would be nice to not feel like it ended in a real bad breakup and she took all my shit. Like it would be really good to go back to WoW and feel good about it.
So Lucky Bolt came up with a good name for Tom and I's wrestling group, BTS,
Yeah.
Botom Syndicate.
Botom Syndicate.
That's pretty good.
It's Destiny.
That is the second best user suggested name for Frog Wrestling.
What was the first? What's the first?
So Patrick Beja and Randy Jordan are a tag team.
Yeah.
As of yet, I've not named them a tag team. They don't even come to the ring together.
Yeah.
They're like the most apart, separated tag team in the history of tag teams. But Randy dresses like a chef.
Yeah, he does.
And Patrick dresses like a French Street Fighter character.
Yeah.
And the suggestion for their name together has been the French Confection.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty good. Like connection, like French
Connection
Yeah.
with an F.
The
right?
French Confection.
Yeah,
yes.
like the like the famous film with Gene Hackman, but not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. That is very good.
And it's not a French version of Kale Thossu with the convection talent.
Yes, no.
That would be the French convection.
You're making me want to play Heroes. All this talk about Heroes, you're making me want to
Gotta
play.
get his stacks. You all take care of yourself. He's gotta go lane.
Asha Aladore.
Oh my gosh, dude. I haven't heard that in so long. All right. We are going to now take a break. When we come back from this break, in which we will pee and do other things, get drinks to make more pee, you guys will sit you guys will sit nice and quiet until we come back, and then when we start again, it'll be Dear Martha. We got some other news of note. Not much, just a little bit, and some emails and a text. Okay, all this coming up after this break. Give us 5. We'll be right back. All right.
Be right back, guys.
Be right back. They're great, right? Nothing wrong with blueberry.
Yeah, I put them in cereal. They're the best.
They are very good in there. And on pancakes. We're back, everybody. Thanks for your patience. We've done all our needs and wants, and now we're back. And it's time for Dear Martha. John, set us up for this one. I have no idea what you've got planned.
We're doing a game show today. We've done this before. I'm going to read a pretty simple Dear Martha review. I'm going to ask you guys which video game you think this review was written about. I'll give you 4 options. You tell me which one.
Diablo 4.
Diablo 4, every time. That's always the answer.
We'll see if it's an option.
Excellent. Let's go for it then. Here we go.
My dearest Martha, there is a jerking off mechanic in this game. Yours
Diablo
in this
4.
life and the next. Hi. I'll tell you, it was a recommended. Thumbs up.
That's a
Who
thumbs up.
recommended to you?
No,
I mean, like they gave it a thumbs up, not a thumbs down. Yeah.
And this is a Steam game, right? Steam.
Yeah, this is a Steam game, Steam review. So let me tell you what your choices are. Do you think that was a review written for A, Diablo 4, B, Halo Infinite, C, Witch Spring R, or D, Skull Island Rise of Kong?
Oh my lord, that thing. That's all I've heard about all week.
Is the monkey have a jerking off button?
I'm leaning.
I mean, it's not really Diablo 4. I know that. I played that a ton. I didn't jerk off in that game.
No.
Or did you?
Or did you?
I mean, I'm gonna tell you, as far as I know, just full clarity, as far as I know, and I don't know everything about all these games, none of these games actually have a jerk off mechanic.
Well, Halo Infinite might. You can teabag people. Maybe
that's
it's
not
one of those.
jerking off.
You
That's
could.
teabagging.
They took teabagging out of Infinite. You can't do it anymore.
But maybe there's another emote in there that you can use to. It looks like that, even though it wasn't intended. You know what I mean?
Like in
Yeah,
Hey
well,
John.
I'm sure that the jerk off mechanic in any of these games is like repurposing something.
But
What?
I'm trying to be pure about this.
Yeah, you have a
Oh,
pure
so
pure
So
take.
I haven't looked
You're-
at whatever the hell Witchcraft R is, and I
Mm.
barely
Witch Spring
know.
R, yeah.
You know. So wait a minute, John. Let me ask you this: when we
Yeah.
played Resident Evil 4, I would do that thing once in a while. It was very
Yeah.
much kind of a evocative movement.
Yeah.
So it could be
when
something
you
like
looked
that.
at Ashley or stuff on the ground.
Yeah, and I'd go or whatever. So it's something like that, maybe. So I'm
That'd
gonna
be my guess. I will tell you, I don't know.
I'm gonna say Halo Infinite is my answer. But what do you think?
This is a tough one.
I know.
guess I'll go with Witchcraft R or Witch Spring R. I don't know what that is, but it seems It has a witch in it. Maybe there's some jerking off.
All right.
I'm gonna tell you this week we have no winner. The correct answer. This is a review for Skull Island: Rise of Kong.
Oh man, I had a notion that might be it. This has been all the talk this week. This piece of shit game. It got like a 2 on IGN. It's supposed to be the worst game of the year.
It's in our news section.
Yeah, we'll talk about that coming up here in a second. Well done to who? No one. Nobody won.
So, is that real?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's real. We don't know if Kong...
I don't think it's real. I think that would involve effort to put that in the game.
Yeah. It seems like they didn't use a lot of effort.
And this was a thumbs up in a game that is mostly negative.
Yeah.
And 242 people found this review helpful.
Yeah.
Bo hunted down the review. He's like, I'm going to see this.
Yeah. That thing is getting worse reviews than that Gollum game, which got terrible reviews. So I don't know what's going on with these venerable character IPs.
I mean, I do. I watched somebody play that. Well, we've gotten a lot of new patrons here on Core. I'm still not quite in the buy a terrible game that's overpriced and extremely bad just for the lulz. But I did watch some people play this game, and it is shockingly bad.
You're talking about the Kong game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard some.
Who would even buy this to review it? You know what I mean? It doesn't even look that interesting on the surface.
Streamers and YouTubers that know they'll make their money back on the stream and YouTube.
Oh yeah, this thing's so bad that you'll make money the minute you.
Oh, I guess because the word of mouth is like this game is terrible.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I was tempted for a minute. I'm like, this could be fun because it's so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's. I've heard nothing but terrible things about this game, so I will not buy it.
It is shockingly bad. It seems like every capacity. Like I'll tell you, there was a time when I was a kid. Here's how I have to frame my thoughts on this game. When I was a kid, I did what a lot of kids do, where you're at the pool and you go, hey, I want to see how long I can hold my breath for. So you have someone, count.
Yeah.
See how you do. I used to have my dad count for me to see how long I could hold my breath underwater. And at a certain point in my life, I came up and he told me, something like 72. And I was like, oh, that's over a minute, which felt like the first major milestone for holding your breath. Like, I feel like if you say I can hold my breath for over a minute, like that's step one on the impressive train.
Right.
And I was really good. And I was like, oh my gosh, Dad, I held my breath for over a minute. And he goes, no, you didn't. I said, well, what do you mean? 72? That's more than 60 is a minute.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, not seconds, counts. And I said, what's a count?
Yeah.
And he goes, that's the rate at which I counted.
Yeah, but
and I said, but that's not a metric that means anything to anybody, including myself. You're not counting like 1,000, 2 1,000. And he's like, no, just counting.
I think I just
figured
figured out.
But that doesn't tell me anything. Now I don't know how long I can hold my breath for because nobody knows what your system of counts is.
Yeah. This explains a lot about you're not doing. I don't want to do anything. I think this comes from that somehow.
And so that's a case of somebody who is 100% certain of the wrong methodology with which they do something.
Yeah.
I love my dad, but that is not how you do that. That serves no one.
No.
And I feel like it was that same mentality that crafted this video game, where a bunch of people got together and collectively agreed on the worst possible way to make a video game.
Yeah.
And that's what this seems to be, from the art to the game design to the mechanics. The one that was really making the rounds was there is a cutscene where Kong sees a bad guy, and they're supposed to show you that it's making him remember how much he doesn't like this type of creature.
Yeah.
But for some reason, this giant ape remembers it via a photograph, like a Polaroid photograph. Like it literally just pops a Polaroid up on the screen showing a cutscene from earlier in the game. Weird. And then Kong going, and getting mad. Like,
who made this? Is this who made this?
So the publisher is a company called Game Mill.
Okay.
Who is the developer? The developer has a history of making
Iguana Bee. Who? Iguana Bee.
Yeah, Iguana Bee. They make a lot of like brand, probably not very good.
Yeah,
games.
like here's G.I. Joe. That didn't do well. Let's see.
They made an Avatar game, I believe.
Oh,
or at least Game Mill published. Maybe they didn't develop it.
And that got really poopy reviews too. Nobody liked that thing. Yeah, this looks like vapor or not vaporware. Or shovelware is what it looks like. And Iguana Bee is I don't know who they are. I was trying to see if it was like, are they just farming this off in some cave somewhere? Just saying, make a game.
Well, I looked at their other games and it's like they made some G.I. Joe thing and
yeah, it's all boring.
Yeah.
And bad and mixed at the best and negative.
Yeah, and by all accounts, this game is worse than Gollum is what I have heard.
Good Lord. Low standards.
Man, what a great year for video games. What a great year for bad video games as well.
Yep.
Who knew we were racing to the bottom at the same time?
The whole range is here before us. Well, we gave that one already. King Kong is bad. That's a story that we were going to talk about, and now we're not. We also talked about Diablo already and our predictions. Once again, I won, so let's just remember that going into your evenings. The one thing we didn't talk about yet, though, is Starfield. We may have sort of mentioned it, but it was the best-selling game of September, even though it was on Game Pass and plenty of people played it there. A lot of people bought it outside of Game Pass.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is very impressive. I think that's great. I think that is consistent with Bethesda games. With Bethesda problems are still there, but still they sell video games. And the big surprise is that without it being on a competing console platform, it still was the highest selling game of the month. And that's crazy during a time where there's a ton of really popular games. I don't think it'll hold that for much longer. I think in October there's probably 2 or 3 games that will topple it. I'll bet Spider-Man beats its numbers, possibly, although that's just one console and not PC, so maybe not. I don't know. What's another one?
And it's not that it didn't have any competition. Mortal Kombat 1 also came out that month.
That's true.
So, there are plenty of good games that month.
Did you see that trailer for the for Homelander DLC and stuff? Did you watch that? Or
I
did we
saw
already
the
talk
one
about it?
for Omni-Man.
That looked nice and violent.
For Homelander, yeah.
My favorite subgenre of Mortal Kombat 1 movie or video is people making, I'll bet that would make my back feel better videos. And basically it's just all the fatalities that look like they might actually fix your back. Yeah. And it's ridiculous, obviously, because some of these, people are getting wrecked, but it made me laugh because my back hurts all the time and I feel it.
Just need Baraka to give you an alignment.
just on my back while I'm laying there naked. Oh, I've taken it too far.
Man, somebody draw it.
Oh, please don't.
That's a good question.
Let's do some emails. We got one here from Zig, who really should have zagged at the end of the day. He says, "Hi, Core Council. I was thinking about the times when Scott said he was in a meeting but plays certain types of video games that allow him to multitask and play casually while half paying attention, and you can drop in instantly when you need to pay attention, like Loop Hero. That is definitely one I used. They're either turn-based games or simple enough you do not need to focus on them fully. I thought we should name or have a name for this genre, at least a Steam tag that people could agree on, which I think is a really good idea. I originally thought that because you could play one of them with one hand, kind of like you could doodle on paper with a pen and paper while listening to a meeting, we could call them one-handers. But then I thought that might get hijacked by another group of games."
I could, 100%. Like that is a tag I would not go looking for Loop Hero in.
No, I wouldn't either. It says, "What do you think a good name for this would be?" Carry on, Righteous Eccentrics, Zig. I don't have a good name, but I kind of like the concept of this a lot, actually. I would love to see a bunch of games that would be good at this because I do it all the time. I'd love a good distraction game while I can do something else. So I don't know.
Isn't that Vampire Survivors? I mean, I guess you got to hold the Steam Deck still, but
you could count that. But like if let's say you're in front of a computer, you're on a Zoom call, you're half paying attention because you can kind of play, but also when someone says your name, Scott, what do you think of these projections? I can interrupt and talk to them and do so without too much trouble. What games are those? Loop Hero is a great game.
Yeah.
There's plenty of games like it, but what do we call them? Like
you need a controller like this, like because it's half a controller. Like I could actually probably draw and then play Vampire Survivors.
Sure, but what would you call it?
With it,
That game, that
a one-hander,
the one. So
I like that we've gone through all of this just for Bo to wind up back in the middle of the.
I said it because it was funny, not because I did it on purpose.
It worked. It made me laugh. That was great.
But yeah, we just don't define genres by their control schemes. Like we don't call Diablo a keyboarder. Well, I guess we don't call Star Citizen a keyboarder game, or
No, but we call them ARPGs, and I think there can
it's not
be
based on the control scheme, right? Because you can do both controller.
yeah, but I
and
don't think
mouse
this
keyboard.
depends on the control scheme either. This is just what games that can be kind of the one handy part doesn't really matter. Like what games can be played casually or passively while you are also on this meeting. That's the word we're looking for, and that can be anything. I think an MMO oftentimes, minus cutscenes or important story points.
I mean, I feel like we kind of call them casual games, like that. If you go to the Steam store categories, I go to casual, right? Maybe I'm assuming the games in there I'll be able to play while on a meeting.
We could call them casual one-handers.
Not casual as the pejorative.
casual one-hander.
A casual handy. No, that doesn't work either.
Sometimes these categories suck. Like Sims 4 is a casual game. Come on now.
I know it's not granular.
City
enough.
Skylines.
Offices have
game.
casual Fridays, casual games, casual Friday games. No, that's too specific because everybody's just going to think of Friday.
Maybe it's just meeting games. Oh no, see that implies other things.
That's when you're getting together.
We need a. You know what? We need the audience and the community to pipe in on this.
How about a distractorum?
Ooh.
What do you get written up for at work if you're wasting office time?
Truancy.
It's not pink slip. That's getting fired.
That's school, but
No,
they
what's
just call
the
it.
thing?
They just call it time theft.
You get pink slips in school. Well,
There you go. We call them time theft games.
No, okay, we're getting confused.
Time-
Pink slips
time
are a work
thieves.
thing.
Yeah.
So you get a pink slip when you're getting fired.
Yeah.
It means a
But
demerit slip, I think.
demerits,
Right,
or you're
school.
being written up, is what?
You're being written up. We had a demerit point system, right? Like based on the gravity of the fence, you get a certain amount of demerit points. I think they do that in
gravity of
Canada
the
with license.
fence.
Gravity of the offense.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm not speaking clearly.
I
will
got
promise
really,
to enunciate
like-
more better, like Reggie Fils-Aimé.
I wasn't poking fun. I genuinely was trying to
Listen.
figure out what the gravity of the fence meant.
School board, I have a new idea for you all. It is called a demerit point system.
Yeah.
You hand out demerit slips based on the gravity of the offense the child has
I
done.
got it. I got
gravity-
it.
Giving
of
him
the
an
fence.
opportunity or her an opportunity to correct course once certain
Look,
demerit points have been received.
Any astrophysicist knows that fence gravity is way heavier than regular gravity, John.
Yeah. Well,
Alright, so-
if you got a big fence, it's gonna have heavier gravity.
What did they call it when you were in school when you something bad happened?
I think demerit.
we got demerits.
We got
yeah.
demerits too. I think. Yeah. I never really
I
put it
didn't
together.
I didn't get demerits. There wasn't a currency. You just got your ass sent to the principal's office.
I wonder what happened with Tom Merritt. If he got dad joked every time,
Demerited,
a
yeah.
demerit,
Yeah.
a Tom demerit.
because
Oh,
merit.
that's his evil like universe twin. It's Tom Merritt versus Tom.
Because
Demerit.
a merit, it would be the opposite. Like you get a merit for doing good, right? There's
Yeah.
merit
Gold
in your.
star.
I didn't get any of those either. I got no merits or no demerits, which means either my school didn't do it or everything I did skipped right over the merit demerit point and just resulted in consequences.
I mean, every time we did something bad, they'd send us down to the woodshop teacher who was allowed to touch your nipple, and I thought that was a weird way to handle.
What?
Oh, is that not a normal thing at schools that people just?
Is there a
Are
real
you being
story behind
serious
this?
or
No,
are you-
I'm not being
What are
serious.
you talking about?
I'm not being serious. They would never do
It's
that.
Tom Demerit, the woodworking teacher. who's
woodworking
going to touch
teacher.
your nipple.
I just thought it'd be funny if that. Well,
It's not funny for anyone who has ever been abused by a teacher. I apologize. I'm just
Yeah.
saying they would be weird
Well-
if the school's punishment was, you're going down to see Mr. Wilson in the wood shop. And it
I
meant,
was thinking male nipple, like it's the whole other ballpark. We're talking female body.
oh, I'm talking
probably,
totally me, just me and my nipple.
This was just a Scott punishment.
That's
Nobody
probably
else.
being chauvinist, and no teacher should touch any student's nipple at all whatsoever under any circumstances, I suppose.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, the big thing is we had a medals teacher that would let kids resolve their differences by going to the wrestling mats and fight it out.
Really?
So not that he was sanctioned to do that, but he was the medals teacher and the wrestling coach, and he would go hit the mats. And that meant you're gonna fight. You're not gonna fight in my shop where there's expensive equipment and things that can kill you. But if you're gonna fight, you can go fight on some mats and get it out of your system. But you're not gonna do it where there's open flame. That was his policy.
Damn.
And
dude.
you know what? There's a level of logic to it. But man, did I see a cowboy get his ass kicked at the mats one time.
Cowboy.
Yeah.
When did you go to school? 1823.
In my school, we had cowboys. Like there's goth kids, there's jocks, there's stuff like that. In my school, there were cowboys.
We had them too. We called them.
That's
shit
one
kickers.
of the factions you can join in high school.
Yeah,
Where
we didn't
I
have
went to high
cowboy
school.
factions in my school.
We had shit
Yeah.
kickers. We didn't call them cowboys. They were shit kickers because they wore boots. That's why we called them that. It wasn't very nice. It was a
Yeah, I guess
pejorative.
you're more in the southern states, so you might have that demo in your high school. So
Oh, yeah.
like just
Yeah, we had
farmer
a
types. Yeah, for
faction
sure.
called cowboys.
Cowboys. Yeah, that's a
did
fun
they like
faction.
being called cowboy? Was that a self-title?
Yes,
or
they
an other
wore
title?
hats and tie. And
Oh,
this
okay.
kid that was a cowboy, I knew him like a year earlier, and he was a computer nerd. So he made he changed factions
Hmm.
because he went from pocket protector, looked like a small businessman, to all of a sudden the next year he's wearing boots and tight jeans and a wide brim cowboy hat and talking about how life is hard on the range.
Yeah.
He's a class trader.
Yeah. $25. He did a faction change.
It's a faction change. That's the benefit of summer vacation. You can re-roll, and a lot of people will forget.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, that's I miss the factions of high school. That was a fun aspect to it. And I used to cross faction communicate all the time. So I had friends who were the stoner parking lot kids. I had friends who were the shit kickers. I had friends who were the jocks and the goth kids and whatever. So I tried to all that, and the art nerd kids, all of us. And so I got along with like almost all the groups, but I loved the dynamic of it because there were times where some of those guys were at war with each other. Just like gonna kill those goths. Why? I don't know. We're in high school.
You guys ever have any food fights?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Junior high
I
mostly. High
never
school
got
some.
to be a part of a food fight.
Really? They're
Great.
fun.
There's
Yeah,
just food
never
flying
happened.
everywhere.
They're
it's as
fun.
awesome as it sounds.
Yeah, it's as good as it sounds. It's so much fun. It's everything you think it is, John. It's a blast. I'm sad that you didn't get it.
Never happened. I feel like I experienced so much stuff,
Yeah.
but I never.
It's just hard to be the
experienced that.
first one. I know there's a couple times where you're like, man, we should throw some food. And it's like just getting that first piece going. That's the hardest part.
Yeah. Once you get past that, it's not bad.
Yeah, once one piece of food gets thrown, the other kids know what's up, and they don't have to go first. So that's how it starts.
Well, check this out. Our next email has some words for Bo. Check this out. Josh says, been listening to Scott's shows for nearly 10 years. Never once wrote in with a complaint, but Bo crossed the line by insulting Tim Hortons. The only time I've uttered an F-bomb while listening to a podcast, he says.
Wow.
This is coming from an extreme coffee snob. I roast, grind, and brew all my own beans, and I have 8 different ways to brew coffee, including a vacuum press. Tim Hortons doesn't have great coffee, but it is better than Starbucks as a pastry and sandwich shop, hands down. The swill Tim's passes off as coffee is at least comes in an agreeable 8-ounce portion and is drinkable with cream. Over the years, I've felt a great kinship with Bo because I also am from Canada, Nova Scotia. But last episode was devastating. Not sure if the damage can be repaired, Josh.
This is why I don't like people. Well, I shouldn't say it that way, but this is why people who like Tim Hortons are crazy because it's that important.
This is my question, and I feel
You know
like
what I mean? I'm just
yeah.
like, okay, dude, I insulted your coffee. like,
I feel
I
like
don't
this
like
is the thing, though. Why are Canadians so fiercely
I mean-
divided on this? What's up with you guys with this coffee thing?
I don't know. I think. Oh shit! Canadians are gonna hate me after this. All right, Canadians are insufferable. There's a certain percentage of Canadians that are insufferable about being a Canadian.
Yeah.
They think it's the best thing ever. and Tim Hortons is like a distinctly one of the hallmarks of Canadian identity, right? One is not being a racist, like it being inclusive place that isn't America.
Yeah.
Where we care about people and we have socialized things.
Yeah.
The other one is like, I think that's changed recently, but we were like a don't lock your doors kind of place too.
Right.
And one of them, and hockey's so important.
Oh yeah, people love the hockey.
And one of them is Tim Hortons, and I've been there. I've been going to Tim Hortons all my life. It sucks. Tim Hortons.
Yeah.
Where there's a place in Elmer where I grew up, Tim Hortons. You can only sit in the Tim Hortons for 20 minutes.
It's called Elmer.
I grew up in a town called Elmer. Yeah,
I like that. That sounds fun.
Yeah. Not really. It's a pretty shitty place, but it was home. It was so boring that we had a riot. Actually, we had a teenage riot
in Elmer. Oh my gosh! All right.
Yeah. It started. Okay, this is it's tangential, but I kind of want to tell it.
Tell it.
Like how backyard fights will have a bunch of people sitting on the fence, and in the backyard, two people will be walloping each other.
Oh yeah.
So we were having one of those. Right, and we stumbled upon it, and the cops came to shut it down. It's like a backyard fight club.
Oh my gosh!
But then there were so many kids there that they turned the paddy wagon upside down and broke the guy out, and then he ran out. The kid who was under arrest ran out, broke the handcuffs, and then they called in police from like 3 different towns, and there were just hundreds of us, and we were like, "We're not going home, F you police," and we did that all night. And it's not the best part of that story, but we were in there for quite a while, and we were moving around. And then my friend Fufu, we've talked about on the show. He's like half Lebanese, right? Yeah. He shows up. The second he shows up, the cop beats him with the bat, and he sued them, by the way, for because it was like there's a bunch of white kids around. As soon as a brown kid shows up, the cops actually take out a bat and start beating him. It was really bad.
Damn, Elmer.
And that just galvanized us further to be like F the police. But yeah, made the papers and everything. It's such a boring place that we made a riot.
Doesn't ring the same bell to say F the police coming straight from Elmer. Does it?
No. I mean, it's lame. But all that to say, the Tim Hortons in that town, which is the one I was most familiar with, would only let you sit in, even if you bought something, for 20 minutes. They kick you out.
Really?
That's
and you know what? And I go, that's not very Canadian.
Shop.
I agree.
How are people going to write movie scripts and become famous from writing those movie scripts?
Right.
If they
I work for Starbucks. I'm going to break this guy's heart further. I have a partner number. I worked 20 years ago for the Bean. What's the guy's name? Schultz.
The Bean.
I worked for Schultz, and it was at the time they had an innovative business strategy. What if you got a Tim Hortons and then you were welcome to sit in the Starbucks, right? Like Tim Hortons, if you bought a Starbucks, they'd kick you out.
Yeah.
But at Starbucks, you could drink anything, eat anything. They have I think they still have it. The third place policy.
You can go there.
Like, you don't have to buy their product in order to occupy a seat in their store. They just will not kick you out.
Yeah.
And I liked that. I thought that was they were very consumer friendly. I mean, sure, they have problems. I know they're dealing with labor shit and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying they're great, but Tim Hortons, pretty ass. Like, it's pretty ass coffee. And this is an overnight decision. I've felt this way for like 3 or 4 decades. So I don't know, man. It sounds like you make your own coffee, so I don't know why you're defending Tim's.
We want to go to his house. Yeah, this guy sounds like he's got it going on.
I'm sure you're probably not buying Tim's beans. You're probably buying like some good beans that you prefer. That's not Starbucks or Tim Hortons, and that's great. Here in town, we have Bridgehead, which I quite like. Although Second Cup bought them, but they're still pretty good. And there's some.
I'm a fan of Bridgehead as well.
Yeah. I've never had Bridgehead. I don't like coffee in general. So once in a while, someone will have me
try
taste
something.
Like.
$15 into the Queen's Bridge. That's a Norm Macdonald joke. Anyways,
oh yeah,
you can get some Bridgehead under the Queen's Bridge.
Yeah, he loved that joke. He used the Queen's Bridge thing a lot in the show.
Yeah, he liked that one. Yeah. Rest in peace. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not trying to go out of my way to insult people. I'm sorry that you felt bad, but it really you should. I don't know. I strongly urge you to reconsider. I think Tim Hortons is it's water.
It's water.
It's basically water, brown water.
Tim's water drink.
Yuck.
I should have played the Canada theme.
Canada.
There we go. We did it. Now it's out there.
All right.
We got one final thing. This is a text, and it is this. There's no name on it. It came to 801-471-0462. The emails came to us at talktothecore@gmail.com. Here's what the text says. You could be 801-471-0HOAS, like HOAS, or 801-4710 HOAS. Tell John that the S isn't part of it, just an extra letter that you can dial for no value. So, John.
I like that this included instructions for me, as if I'm confused by the concept and not confused by the fact that Scott gave a simple way to dial a number that was 100% not a way to dial our number. I understand that you can dial additional numbers to try and spell something. That's not a part of my confusion.
That's not the problem.
I had confusion with how 10 hams is not the phone number to text or call in any way, shape, or form. 10 HOAs, HOAs, is.
Yeah.
But who on this planet would possibly hear that and go, well, thank God they said that instead of just the actual number? Because, boy, I'll never forget 4710 HOAs. That'll be with me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I think that just the number 801-471-0462 is all you really need. I've come to that. I'm fine with it. Screw the hams. It's fine. I like the meme. I like people. Somebody sent us a picture of 10 hams.
Wait,
like,
can we change the phone number?
I mean, we could get a new one, but that's a big pain in my ass.
No, I'm not saying. No, I'm. Oh, you didn't. Okay.
No.
All right.
I wonder.
Still 1-800-10-hams, right?
Yeah. Well.
Yep, 1-800.
That's the one. That's it. You nailed it. I don't
That's
know.
You
what I tell
really should
everybody.
see if you can get 1-800-10-hams.
Let's see. Okay, so make my number spell something is what I'm looking up right now. We're gonna see if we can solve this.
We've done this before.
Did we?
There's nothing good.
Okay, I got phonespell.com. Let's try this. 801. Hold on.
You just need a new number that converts to 10 hams and we'll be golden. We'll get so many calls.
All right, here we go. Show me. Let's see what it says. Here are our options. 801 is 10 nat. GNAT.
Terrible.
Okay. How about this one?
We got is though.
801 is 10 goal. Goal?
No.
Okay. 801 is 10 hoax.
Oh,
Closer to truth, but also like
I like
he
it.
talks like that.
Okay, I found a better
Is
one.
10 hoax.
Oh,
I call
10
is
hoax.
10 hoax
I
number.
call is
10
hoax.
Can we do something about the 10?
The 10 seems to be here every time. Here's another
How
one.
many hoax is 10? Is
This-
10 hoax?
this is a
I
fun
call
one.
10 times is 10 hoax.
This is a fun one. 801 is 10 inch.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's a little personal.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, that's not
That's
bad.
pretty good.
All right.
Well,
That's
you're saying
pretty
it like a
good.
question, but say it like a statement. 1-800 is 10 inch.
Is 10
10
inch.
Call 1-800 is 10 inch.
It's not just a
10
pizza
inch.
anymore. It's
Is it
way
your,
of life.
your penis?
Can we do something about the 10 though, or does the 10 seems like
the 10 seems essential,
The
apparently.
10
Yeah.
every one of these it gave me just now, all of them have 10s. There's no
Is 10 goat? I mean, at least
Yeah.
goat has been repurposed to greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Is
Goat.
That one's
More?
that one's real solid.
Yeah, goat. Is 10 goat? That's not bad. Is 10 hobo?
yeah.
Eh.
It's 10 hobo.
Is 10 goad? I don't want that. Whore? What's a whore? It's spelled wrong. It's not the right whore. Hawk?
No, that's whore, as in like hoarfrost.
You know what? Is 10 goat? That's
Is
not
10
bad.
goat.
All right, we're doing it. Guys at home, call 801 is 10 goat. All right?
It's 10
Yes, we
It
did
worked. It
It
worked.
sounds like Borat is trying to call a phone
Although,
number.
can I veto a little bit? Can we put both in? Call 1-800
Hey,
You want to say
Bo,
1-801 is 10 goat or 1-801 is 10 inch? Like I think we need both.
Bo,
inch and
spoilers.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
both will work.
They both
Yeah, no,
yeah.
like, we're gonna say them both each time.
Yeah.
You can call.
Yeah, we can act like
and then
it's a
we can
choice.
say it's the same number, but it's still a choice how you want to spell it.
Yeah.
You can be the goat or you can get all 10 inches, whichever one you want.
I mean, look, variety is
It's
the
like an
spice of
Abed
life.
style thing where like it's of course there's no choice, but there is a choice. And what does the choice say about the story
Yeah,
we're telling?
what did you
know?
call? Did you call the goat line or
the-
the 10-inch line?
Or the inch line.
It's them. It's like it's that joke they do because I am rewatching Community again. I'm making my mom watch it because she's not going to get the movie if she doesn't watch the TV show.
Yeah.
And in the funeral, they just say like Troy and Abed it's in mourning, and they're like, that's so uncomfortable, and Abed's like, don't worry, we're saying it with a U, like mourning, and then Troy's like, you were saying it with a U. Not that you can say it differently without the U, but that's totally like Troy humor. He was saying morning as in morning, and he's like, oh man, I'm such an idiot. So I think we should do both numbers is what I'm trying to say.
We can also make them a longer sentence because they're superfluous numbers. So you could say 801 is 10-inch okay? Or you could say is 10
Is
hobo
10-inch enough? Make them dial a shitload of numbers.
Yeah, or you can put S's on here. 1-800 is 10 goats a problem. Type that all in.
You keep wanting to make it a question. I don't know why you want to make it a question. It's always a question.
I don't know, but I love these.
801 is 10-inch big enough?
Is 10-inch big enough?
Are you looking for bigger?
Or is 10 size doesn't matter? That doesn't work. I don't know.
Is 10-inch
yeah. I love that he's telling you that the S isn't a part of it. That's something about that's funny to me. Tell John the S isn't part of it. I don't know why that's funny.
You can just dial it. You can just dial whatever you want.
You
it doesn't make
could.
hams correct.
That's
what the issue was.
Perfect. 1-801 is 10-inch goat.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, I
It's
could do
10-inch
that.
goat.
Yeah, 10-inch goat whore.
So we'll just say call the 10-inch goat.
All right, I'm in.
the 10-inch goat whore.
The 10-inch goat whore spelled, and you can spell whore however you want because we're at extra letters.
Yeah, we're beyond the pale here.
Yeah, it's all good. Real quick here, a note to people at home. You can use these methods to get a hold of us, and please do. Also, I started doing a regular scheduled Frog Pants Plays stream on Mondays, 3 to 5 p.m., a 2-hour stream every Monday, regardless of the Monday, unless I'm off somewhere. And I played some indies last week. I will probably play, I want to mess around with all the new games in the new Jackbox 10 collection. People have been raving about it. So I'm going to do some testing of that before we do it with more people in the community. Anyway, be playing that. That means you can play with your phones if you show up to that stream. That'll be Mondays, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. every Monday at frogpants.tv if you want to watch some live gaming. And maybe I'll do an hour of that and then an hour of that Forgive Me Father 2 thing so we can have a little Halloween gamey time. All right, we'll see.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and another thing. Tanner just reminded me. Tanner, thanks for saying this. I completely forgot to write it in our notes. We're going to give away a ton of Resident Evil games on our Discord as well. Tanner got handed a whole bunch of these. And if you're not a part of our Discord, just go to frogpants.com/Discord. And in the contests channel, you can enter to win these things. And we're talking RE4, RE3, Resident Evil, I think 7's in there. That's all of them.
RE 10-inch.
10-inch goats. Oh, that was the worst game. That game scared me. No one wants a 10-inch goat, but you might, and so get over there and check that out. Giveaway channel, sorry, not contest. Giveaway channel on our Discord, frogpants.com/Discord. All right, that's it for that. I do want to thank our patrons. Oh, shit, I forgot to check names this week. I should do that real fast because you guys keep surprising us with how many of you sign up for our Discord.
While he's looking that up, I think, John, I was invited to play Phantasmagoria with you.
Phantasmagoria.
Oh, are you going to join us for that?
Yeah, and I have
awesome.
I have to ask you a question because I think I've seen that it's playable in VR, and I'm wondering if the actual game client.
It's a different game though, right?
No, it's the same game client, so I can just play it as a VR version. I don't know what's involved, but would that make me more scared? And would it be better for our stream?
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah.
Anyways, Kyle reached out, so I was like, okay, sure, I'm down to clown. I don't have any job. I'll play video games with you. I'm so excited, but it's gonna be scary. I think.
Oh my gosh,
we're gonna be doing that. I think on the 31st, like on Halloween.
Yeah,
right?
we're doing it on Halloween. Yeah.
You know how I had VR AI read the names last time? I forgot to write down where they ended. Now I don't know who the new people are and who aren't. So that was dumb.
Here's the great thing about pasting it into our list last week.
Oh, right.
You can just.
I forgot. I gave it to you guys, didn't I?
Where did they go last week?
Yeah, where did they go, though? They got deleted.
Oh, no, they're in
because
here.
he didn't post them, but he did send them to us.
Yeah, they're up here in our group. So the last one was Open Micers Podcast. So now I can do it from that. So let's see. From that forward. Oh, my gosh. Can this be real? This can't be real. Hold on. What is going on? There's no way this many new people signed up. Where is the Open Micers thing? Oh, my gosh, you guys. Holy shit. Okay, I'll read them. Here comes. You ready?
I'll read them if you want. If you paste them, I'll read them.
All right, I'm reading. You know what? Let's do that. Just to shake things up and make it interesting. So this comes in 2 chunks, John. That's first chunk. I have to go to the first page to get the next chunk. That's how many more people we're talking about.
Should we do it as like a fast grandma situation?
Yeah, why not?
Or
do you guys want grandma to read these names? Because
do you want to read the names? Do you want me to just read them quickly?
Let's do. John's fast with the reading because it's your whole thing where you can do like tongue twisters.
He's a tongue twister guy.
Yeah. So John,
all right.
That is now all of it. I just gave you a whole.
Wait,
nother set.
Is one of these correct?
Which one?
Oh my god! My gosh!
Top one. Which one?
There's one in here that stands out as like an interesting thank you, but we'll go with it.
All right.
All right. Here's all our new patrons. We're gonna read them real quick, and I'll probably mix up your names, but here we go. Please. Oh my gosh, is it getting longer? Did you just?
Yeah, I added more. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's insane.
Oh, Jesus.
Ellie Sell, Robert Bond, Matt Rinder, John Boxer, Conman Valentine, Preston, Broken One, UOR Shane, Luke Robinson, Bo Schwartz, Josh Haskins, DP, Zarg, Star Sapphire, Usagi-chan, Primitive B, Keith Terminus, Taylor Smith, PDI 192, Jesse Frizzell, Brian B, Gerben Sergboer. Segboer, Jake Crenshaw, Jeremy Arnholt, Destin Fleury, Paul S. in parentheses, Benjamin Narr, Barry Gannett, Vanek 130, Michael Don Murray, Brandon Doyle, Kevin Hedgewood, Jack Freeman, Walker, Ambient Albatross, Sweet Shell, Chris Thibault, Rob Richard, Chris Latria, John Hailstone, Sigbjorn Breder, Gabriel G, Silraz, Gear, Engen Saglick, Frederick Peterson, Brandon, Andrew Percy, Liam Stanley, Ryan Howitt, Abdul Salam Ari, Nerd Cave Retro, Dead Jack, Josh McFadden, Deke Spears, Galen Slinkard, Dave Robinson, Jesse Allen, Sean Myers, Nanoka, Xandar the Gamer, Aaron Port, Jared Pendergast, Dylan Cisco, Robert Putnam, Glenn Phillips.
Jeez. That was a lot.
God.
That was
So a few of them I did recognize from last week, but it still doesn't make sense because my name is in there for some reason.
Yeah, why is your name in here?
That's the one that I was like, is that real?
I'm checking my Patreon right now to see if I'm a member.
Bo stopped working, and he's like, well, time to support this show.
Support this show. I'm quitting to be on more often.
I don't think I subbed. Did I sub to our show?
It says here, it says you're a free member. What does that mean?
Oh, are there people signing up for free? We're just not making any money off this anymore.
Oh,
so
is
we're
this
just thanking a lot of people.
Well, now hold on. Maybe that's the thing.
No, because our amount has gone up. So
it's definitely
Boy,
gone
I
up.
really shouldn't have bought that car after the last list of members. Man, we really should have made sure that check cleared before I went and made.
That
some
reminds me.
purchases.
I did a thing where it looked like this deal I did. I won't get into details, but I did a podcast deal where it looked like I was getting somewhere in the range of like $8,000 for this gig. And I was like, what? Is this possible? How is this possible? There's no way this is right. Turns out they were showing me a dollar sign, US dollar sign, but the money was in Swedish krona. So it was actually like $700.
All right. So I went.
So I could have done something real dumb during that time and pre-bought something and then found out later, krona is not what I'm getting paid in. Anyway, sorry, Bo.
I don't know how this affects things because you have the internal metrics or whatever, but I do see on the public page here, I just posted an image. The Patreon has 851 members, but only 788 are paid. I don't know what that means. So
this is new. I think this might be part of their redesign, so maybe these are showing us free people. Which is
if you want your name read out in the show for free, come join our Patreon. It seems like it's still good to get engagement. So
I'm gonna have to figure this out. Now I know. I think I now know what Tom was trying to tell me about the other day. He was like, "Oh, this change," and I was like, "What change?" And then I forgot what he said. I think this was it. Well, anyway, we're happy to read your names anyway.
There you go. You should listen to Tom more often.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that any of these patrons all could have provided financial support. I don't know.
Yeah.
So thank you all, nevertheless. It's my first week off work.
Following what we do.
Yeah.
And this is what I do professionally now. I hope you like it. Sorry, Tim Hortons guy.
Yeah.
But it's... Hey, I can still be friends with people like Tim Hortons. Even I drink Tim Hortons. I just feel bad. I don't like bashing listeners.
No, you're fine. He's fine. I bet this guy, I think he's mostly joking, but I bet he'd have you over.
I think it was a written and fun email.
Tongue in cheek, firmly.
Yeah, I don't care that much. I just don't like it.
Tongue firmly in your cheeks. Yes.
But thank you all very much for the support.
That was nasty. Anyway.
Yep, tongue in cheeks.
Tongue directly in between your cheeks.
Did you say earlier? Put your legs between your legs. Like that.
Yeah, I did actually, and now I'll never forget it. Nicely done. Let's remind people why to sign up there is good. No commercials ever. Pre-show content every week. Monthly host shows. Other cool benefits. Artwork in the mail. Too many reasons not to. No reasons. No wait. No reasons not to. Lots of reasons to. There you go. Got it. Nailed it. Patreon.com/core show, frogpants.com/core for everything else. All right, we do have one more thing to do. We hand the mic to Fast Grandma. She tries to explain what we played this week. Grandma, take it away.
Well, if you're looking to find out what the games were that the boys played, you're thinking about Cyberpunk 2077. Seems like they're winding down, but they're still just pinging away at it. Scott played Forgive Me Father 2, which is not a porn game. I know, I was shocked too, but here we are. It's a shooter of sorts. Not what I would have thought. He also played Run Gore, which is the card running thing. He played Lamplighters League. It's on Game Pass. Go play it, I guess. He played Assassin's Creed Mirage. He played Contraband Police, and he played Doom 64. That's what he did. John pretended to play video games and wanted to write down a bunch of words, so this is what he wrote. WWE 2K23, Wizard with a Gun, and Marvel Spider-Man 2. He didn't play any of those, essentially, when you really think about it. Bo played Darktide. He played with his Quest 3, and he played Diablo 4 Season 2 and Heroes of the Storm.
Wow, that's as comprehensive as a list you're ever going to get, everybody. We hope you enjoyed that and that you'll check us out next week. Between now and then, play a bunch of games. There's certainly many out there for you to play, and we'll see you next time.
Get more at frogpants.com.
Humble brag.
Humble brag.